It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All righty, welcome aboard. High noon. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the loose cannon at the controls. How you feeling, boys?
Oh, how can you not feel good today? One, it's hump day.
Oh.
One, it's hump day. We're one day closer to the weekend.
Did the Cavs win last night, man?
They did.
It sounded...
They did not.
You said, how can you not?
I'm trying to breathe some optimism into the atmosphere right now.
Did I miss something?
Because we're going to get to that, and that's going to be very bleak. But listen, it's hump day, one day closer to the weekend. Mm-hmm. Today, for NFL fans, is schedule release day, which is fun. I thoroughly enjoy this. I know the leaks are already leaking, but we'll get the full-fledged schedules going into tonight. So that's awesome. If you need a good laugh today, go find reflog_18 on Twitter. If you're a Cleveland fan, you probably follow this guy already, but he tweeted out the 2023 Tennessee Titans schedule release video, which is, it looks like obviously somebody from the team down on the strip in Nash Vegas. And there are people
where they ask people,
like, who is this team? And people are just butchering the team, butchering the logo. If you need a laugh, do that, because I was in tears prior to the show coming in here. So, shout out to Reflog, but he listens to the show every once in a while. He does good stuff on Twitter.
I agree. And number two, this is their go-to move, Tennessee. This is what they've done for years. The good part is that it is very entertaining.
It's hilarious.
The bad part is they have to do this to make up for their team.
Cam Ward said, I'm here to change all of that.
Kansas City probably doesn't need, Philly doesn't need anything special. Yeah. I'm not saying they'll probably do something creative because they have departments now to do this. Mm-hmm. And it's all about, self-promoting in this world. And so I believe they'll have it, but there is some overcompensation when you're Tennessee. You kind of have to.
Maybe so.
They have the #1 pick and all that.
I love all these things, man. I'll watch a bunch of the team schedule release videos today because they've gotten better and better by the years, and the creativity is really good.
You like it a schedule.
Yeah, I'm in on it,
The schedule's good, yeah?
Because you know what I do with the schedule, AR? I look at my schedule all the time the way I look at my fantasy football team after I get done drafting. And I just constantly am looking at that thing, going up and down and just mapping out all the different pathways for my team to get to the playoffs and all that. Like, I am a schedule geek, man. I'm all in on this stuff.
So I told you a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about fantasy, and I was still lamenting, about having what I thought was the best draft but not winning. And I said to you that I think that the tiebreaker has now the reality for me is that I've been a regular season monster and I just can't finish.
So you're the Cavs.
I am the Cavs of our fantasy league.
Okay.
In recent past.
Yeah.
I think now the tiebreaker is matchups. I think you have to look at, if you're thinking about drafting this quarterback versus that quarterback, go right to the playoffs.
You're big on this, yeah.
See where they are. Are they playing indoors, outdoors, tough team, not a tough team? Like, I do think it's the matchups. Matchups win fantasy, usually.
Matchups win life.
Yes, that's right.
You get that on the Peloton? Tell your Peloton instructor to add that. My boy Matty, I said matchups matter in life.
Yeah, for people that didn't wake up just to give up, like me.
Yeah, that's better.
We'll have Shefty on at 12:30. So we do have some leaks. So do I ask him more about, do you want to leak anything else?
I don't know if he's a big fan of the Petey Pablo.
Do you want to take a leak on the show today at 12:30?
I'll leave that up to you.
Is he going to do that?
But does he know the song Freak a Leak by Petey Pablo? Maybe I'll ask him that.
Say the odds of that are less than 5%. Although maybe the 5% is high.
Speaking of fantasy, I'm handing my spot over to TLC this year. I'm taking a year off. Yep.
You don't have to come to your...
And I will hand it to whoever else wants it.
No. Listen, I will be there for you. I will back you and support you however I can. But me personally, this 14-team league, half a point, it's a grind.
You kind of stole my idea.
Oh, well, listen,
I want it out.
There's 2 spots available.
Maybe you could have 2 teams. What do you think of that, big fella?
Oh, man.
I want neither of them.
Oh, not a big fantasy guy?
I can't do more than one league.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I do. I have one league with media people in St. Louis, but that's like the secondary league. I check it. I don't even check the scores. I just check the lineups.
Dave Checkets. So you want to be in a league of your own, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
And with Madonna and Jimmy Fallon.
Well done. Wait.
Maybe?
Oh, was he in that movie? Well, Madonna was. You say Jimmy Fallon? Am I missing something?
Was he not in that movie?
I don't know.
Jimmy Fallon? I mean, Tom Hanks was the star, but I'm wondering.
I've seen a few scenes.
Maybe he was. Maybe he.
Be surprised if you stumped AR in a movie.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different
not
movie.
The greatest movie in the world. It's good, but I don't.
I got
You
Madonna.
told me that Dustin Hoffman was in Star Wars, and I told you that wasn't true. But I don't.
Maybe he wasn't in the movie. I got Madonna.
Jimmy Fallon in A League of Their Own. How old would he have been? How old is he?
Jimmy Fallon
When
right
was
now.
Is he like a little bat boy?
I don't know.
Well, no, he's 50.
50 on the dot.
So let's see. League of Their Own came out in 92. So
He would have been famous by then, right? When was he on SNL?
I just don't know if he was a true. I guess was he a true actor? Is that how he came up?
Maybe I just made that up.
Thought he was a comedian.
I make up stuff all
He
the
was
time,
a
TLC.
comedian.
I made one up.
Hang on. Let's. I don't want to like completely put this away until.
No, his first movie was in 2000. So I made it up.
So he would have been 18 years old if he was in this movie, which is obviously very possible. But I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. I mixed him up with somebody. His first movie credit was in 2000, so he was not in this movie. I made that up.
Jimmy Fallon
apologize.
and Madonna in A League of Their Own. Madonna, you get correct. Exactly. You get a half a star today on that. All right, so let's get to this Cavs thing. So there's a lot going on here because I do think that there's no way you can say that this season wasn't a failure. It was an incredible underachievement.
He was in Fever Pitch. Wrong baseball
Fever
movie.
Pitch
Sorry.
with Drew Barrymore.
Sorry.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this question, as long as you're on that. Maybe I'll tweet this out. If Die Hard is a Christmas movie, does that make The Naked Gun a baseball movie?
I've never seen The Naked Gun, so I cannot weigh in on this.
Okay.
0 for 2 over here.
I grew up in an era like 80s and 90s baseball movies. We were flooded with them. Bull Durham, 8 Men Out, Field of Dreams, Major League, A League of Their Own, which he mentioned, Rookie of the Year, The Sandlot, Angels in the Outfield. This is all was jammed into what I felt was the 80s and early 90s.
Like, I used
it was
to wear
a
out that
baseball
Angels in the Outfield
decade of stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
And The Naked Gun, which came out in the late 80s with Leslie Nielsen, which, by the way, some of the great comedic movies of our time. Big baseball scenes.
Okay.
In the first one there. I'll tweet that out, see what reaction I get.
The Twitter street will let you know.
All right, so let's get back to the Cavs here. Do we want to listen to Donovan Mitchell first? I almost think we should listen to him first and then go through the game a little bit. And we can certainly do that next. Matty, he was in his feelings last night, which is completely understandable.
Okay, let me hear it.
Guy was not 100%, did what he could, missed some very key free throws, but had a good night. I mean, it was the hometown buffet of games for him. And
it really did.
It's weird because when I listen to him, you have to give him, he cares so much. But he wandered around in we let the city down. Yeah, we did this. You guys are going to write your crap. And well, which is it? Should they be allowed to or not? Where do you stand on it?
I go to bat for every guy in that locker room. I'm willing to die out there for those guys. We are for each other. Winning is not easy. Some things have to go right. So you got to play well. You got to capitalize on opportunities. We have a window with this group. I believe in everybody in here. We believe in each other. And that's what sucks, man. It's just, we're a good team. And 3 games, we didn't show what we're capable of. And ultimately, that's what we're judged on. So, get in the gym, weight room, nutrition, whatever the hell it is, and get back at it, because y'all going to write us the off, man. But we'll be back. We let city down, letting each other down. We'll be back.
I don't know. So the media, are they justified in writing negative things if this team won, 34 home games and lost all 3 at home in the playoffs and had a 64-win season, but lost 3 games at home, didn't get out of this round? Or is it because what he's really saying is that it's hard to win? We weren't at 100%. By the way, Indiana, very good team, maybe underseeded, athletic, powerful, physical, can shoot the lights out. By the way, don't stand around the perimeter. They backdoor cut. They cut down the lane. They do everything right. And so I kind of come out of that soundbite with great sympathy for a guy who left it all on the court, but I don't know what that comment was. You're gonna write us the blank off.
It's just player speak, AR. It's just player speak because I don't think next year people are going to be really writing them off. I think
why would they?
Going into the year, they will be viewed as a top 4 team in the East, especially when there's rumors out there that Boston is potentially going to shake things up, and that team may not look the same. The bad thing now for the Cavs, and I think this is one of the worst places to be if you are a team or an individual, is when you achieve so much good, it gets to a point to where now you're the squad. If you're the Cavs, then nobody's going to care what you do in the regular season. Nobody's going to care. Like, we're coming off a year to where you won the second most wins in franchise history in the regular season. We've seen this movie, unfortunately, for 3 years in a row. So until they change that, the pathway into the playoffs, no matter how good it is, there's always going to be but what are you going to do when it matters the most? And I think that's a tough place to be for a team. So him saying people are going to write him off, fine, whatever, like it's after the game, he's emotional, I get that. I don't think that's going to be the case. People are going to be putting their respect on their name. And I think it will be appropriate because I think they'll come back and still be a good team. There's questions to be answered as far as, do you run it back with the core 4? I'll say this. The Jared Allen experience, to me, has got to be over. It's got to be done. He was nowhere to be found. This is 3 postseasons in a row to where this guy, to me, has been a letdown. I would run this thing around Donovan, Darius, and Evan Mobley and figure it out from there.
They're kind of locked into a lot of this roster.
If you can move Jared Allen, AR, it's time to move off of Jared Allen because you don't want to keep banging your head against this wall with him. And they're just not tough enough. They're not tough enough. And they had media availability this morning. And I saw Chris Fedor tweet out this quote from Max Strus. To me, we've got to get tougher physically and mentally. We can talk about it, but we have to be about it. And that to me is a big deal because Indiana, the Orlando Magic, and the New York Knicks 3 years in a row, to a certain degree, have punked this team.
Matty, I totally agree with what you're saying. If your motor isn't redlining in the playoffs, I got a problem with you.
What are we doing?
And I'll tell you, I like Allen, I like Mobley, but if you guys at your size can't be physical in the playoffs and set hard screens and do what it takes, then I have no sympathy. I have sympathy for him. He played injured and he played well. But you're right. They've got they're the AR fantasy team. Very good in the regular season. Where are you in the postseason? Yeah. We'll get to some of that when we come back. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Whatever you're doing right now, just know that Bo Bishop is enjoying a sip of bourbon. Even if this promo is playing in the morning, no judgment.
Oh, sweet morning drinking.
The Fan.
Hiring today for tomorrow with WM.
A stable career and a safe environment. That's what you get as a heavy-duty mechanic at WM.
Plus great benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family.
WM is now hiring heavy-duty mechanics in Columbus. Get boot and tool allowance and additional pay with a Cummins certification or CDL license.
There are openings for CDL truck drivers too with home daily routes.
Apply online at careers.wm.com. That's careers.wm.com.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bob, you know what I love the most about you?
That I pay you to do these commercials?
That and the way you treat your customers.
All right, listen. I will hook you up in our warm, inviting environment. You will be greeted by our top sales professionals that are non-commissioned, but will help guide you through the entire process.
You're my guy, Bob. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Bob Capace sent you.
Hardscape Pros, are you tired of working with broken down tools and chasing paychecks? At 9 Trees, we respect your craft, invest in the best equipment, and back our crews with full benefits and top pay. We're not just offering you a job, we're offering you a career. If you're a seasoned pro, work with a top patio builder that treats you like family. Call 9 Trees at 614-921-9595 or visit 9treeslc.com to apply. 9 Trees Landscape Construction. The best reputation, the best compensation.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here. And when I dropped 70 pounds with Awaken 180, It felt like finally finishing a massive home renovation. You know, job done. Everything looks sharp, but it gets better, actually. I just had my first free monthly maintenance visit, and I found out I lost another 4.2 pounds without really even trying. It's like discovering an extra room in your house you never knew was even there. Awaken 180 isn't about meds or quick fixes. It's like learning exactly how to stock your fridge and pantry with all the right tools. I still eat plenty, still feel satisfied, and now making healthy choices is second nature. Like flipping the light switch on the first try in the dark. My body's firing on all cylinders, and I'm down 75 pounds without medications or hunger tricks. Just real education on eating smarter and feeling fantastic. Call Awaken 180 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, once you learn the blueprint, your only regret is not calling them sooner. 844-346-1800. 844-346-1800.
Everybody poops, everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy on it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered showers and some thunderstorms possible this afternoon with highs in the mid-70s. We'll fade those out tonight, back to the 80s. Tomorrow, again, could see a pop-up shower or storm during the afternoon. Bigger risk for severe weather comes in Thursday night into early Friday. That's when a 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day will be in place, so make sure you're staying weather aware. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
It's unbelievably exciting that in the NBA, this playoffs, that you could have this many blown leads of this size. It's almost, you know, it's always been my pet peeve of being able to coach leads.
I think,
and a lot of it is players too, that they get complacent or they take chances when they have leads, and I want them to protect every possession when they're up.
I think it's the era of basketball that we're in. Because for me, yesterday watching this Pacers-Cavs game, where it started to get real spooky for them, was when Halliburton said, I'm turning in Steph Curry right before half. And he was just bang, 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 three after three. And you're like, uh-oh. Because they went into the lead. They went into the half with a decent lead. I can't remember what it was at the time. I don't even know if it was that much now that I'm talking about it. But when Halliburton started doing that, my mind went to, what is this doing to the psyche of the Cavs at this moment? Because you come out, right? You come out strong. Donovan, Darius, those guys are struggling offensively. And you're like, okay, we're still holding our own. But that's why Tyrese Halliburton was a part of the Olympic team. That's why he is thought of as one of the up-and-coming young stars in the league. And he put it on full display, not only in this game, but throughout the playoffs so far. So credit to him, because he really has answered the call with a game winner against Cleveland, game winner against Milwaukee. And then he brought his team life, I thought, right before halftime when he was acting like Steph Curry out there.
He was great. It was nothing but net. He was just bringing rain. He was feeling it. They were up 19 early. It was early. It was first quarter, I think. You're right. They didn't go into halftime with a big lead. They were both in the 50s, I think. But I just feel like when you're up 19 at home in a closeout game or elimination game for you, and I'm not stupid enough to think that, okay, it's over. I'm just saying, like, I just can't imagine that you're not managing that a little better. But you're right. Halliburton caught fire, and that's the NBA. So I can't put it all on coaching or the players. I do think the Cavs just failed in so many spots. They shot under 30% from deep in 4 of the 5 games. They made less than 10 threes twice.
To your point, AR,
they've never done that this year.
Never. They were the second best three-point shooting team in the league by percentage all season long. They went into halftime shooting 9% from 3. 9%. And so what was one of your biggest weapons all year wasn't there, and then we watched the team fail to adjust. But also, like, for me, you and I like to give the other team credit in these scenarios. Like Nembhard, Neesmith, these guys were hounding Mitchell all season or all series long, picking up full court. They're like, you're injured? We don't care. We're applying all the pressure that we possibly can, and you keep saying it, and it's right. That's a team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They know what it takes to get it done in this moment, and they've got a coach in Rick Carlisle, who is a seasoned coach as well. So injuries, all that stuff, we can talk about all that all day till the cows come home, and that was real because you could see the guys were banged
real
up
defensively
out there.
too.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. But the Cavs had plenty of opportunities yesterday to keep their season alive, and they just didn't capitalize.
Yeah, they just didn't. You got to win that game on your home floor because you have to force Indiana to feel pressure. You have to. And I'm not saying they were going to win the series. I believe they were going to win last night. They didn't. I thought even at the end they had a chance. Certainly Mitchell missing 3 free throws in a row, down 6 with a buck and a half left, was an absolute killer. Is he exhausted? Of course. And once you miss 1 and 2, the third one becomes maybe tougher. That killed them. The Nembhard taking Garland one-on-one into the paint and getting the and one killed him. The steal and the Halliburton and one, killer. Like, they had a chance to rescue the game. He did put in Ty Jerome late and gave him a spark.
He did.
Like, because it's weird because here I'm betting on him yesterday to score 8 or more, and he's not even in the game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. It's funny because I hit on the Garland 10+ and the Jerome 8+, but I lost the big one, which is the Cavs winning the damn game.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. Indiana was a different team post-New Year from an injury standpoint. They got better. They got healthy. Yeah. And like I said earlier, and I do think the physicality against teams that aren't 100%, just because Garland and Mitchell were playing and Hunter was playing doesn't mean they were 100%. They weren't. It probably affected them. It's not excuse making. Maybe that there are some reasons, but this team was too damn good in the regular season to lose 3 in a row at home. Yeah. And they blew game 2, which set the series on tilt. I do think that changes everything. Why wouldn't it? But it's just, it comes down to they have to find a way to be tougher in the playoffs. You said it. Like, there's nothing. Atkinson, I don't know whether, because I'm trying to give them the reality of their injuries, that they weren't at 100% against an athletic team that was relentless. Give Indiana that credit, that you're right. They didn't make it easy on a team that was less than 100% because they forced them to defend. And they force them to be physical. And when you're not feeling right, you can try and tell your brain, have your brain tell your body what to do, and it may not work. And they still had a chance to win that game last night. What Mitchell said is real, and that it is tough to win. It's tough to win against good teams. The motivation, maybe he, like you said, he was in his feelings. Then make the lead is, we need to find a way. Not that the media is going to write us off or you guys are going to write crap about us. It's only going to fuel the fire. Sorry. If you need that, then I think then there's a bigger issue. Because I don't think this is I don't know if it's a attitude issue. It's somehow something with their mental approach to some of these games. But at the end of the day, you said it. Ball has to go in the hole.
That's it.
Like,
that's it.
It's a results business. Yeah. So they just were, I cannot believe that they did what they did this season. And then in a closeout game at home, but I have to come back to that Mitchell wasn't 100%. He was struggling, and Garland probably isn't 100%.
He gave it his all. Yeah. I mean, they highlighted a couple times. Mitchell went into the tunnel once, and he came right back. He fell once and was banging the floor, and you could see he was in obvious pain. DG, Darius Garland, went up to intercept the pass. He came down and he was hobbled. So that's what sucks about this, too, is that the guys that you needed at full power were not at full power, but I can't absolve them of what we saw down the stretch and the lack of doing some of the fundamental things that you laid out with Donovan Mitchell missing those 3 free throws late, even though the next possession down the floor, he hits that corner 3. But prior to that, in a sequence, you had the Pacers hit a 3 to make it 1-on-197, and then Turner beats Jared Allen to the ball, and there's no box out whatsoever from him there. And that, to me, is one of the biggest elephants in the room is if you're Kobe Altman and you're Kenny Atkinson, you have to really sit back and ask yourself the tough question. Yes, we had all the success. Are we a regular season team? Or are we a playoff team? Because there's a difference between the two. There's no doubt a difference between the two to where you can have a team built for the regular season, but do you have a team to win 16 games in the postseason? And when you have a star like Donovan Mitchell and a talent like Darius Garland paired with a defensive player of the year and a superstar in the making in Evan Mobley, around those guys, you got to figure out a way to get tougher, I believe. And so Jared Allen, to me, I don't think should be a part of this moving forward if they can move off of him, because he has shown you, and he even admitted, AR, after that Knicks series a couple years ago, he said the lights were too bright. When you hear a player tell you that when it comes to the postseason, then he's telling you who he is. And the last 2 games in this series against the Pacers, 2 points, 9 points, no physicality whatsoever. They got to find a different answer there next to Evan Mobley.
You know what he needs to find? The first 12 minutes of the game, Jared Allen. That's what he needs to find. I think he gets weaker as the game goes on because he wasn't awful. He helped them build that lead in the beginning. And then it's just like when they get taken out of their system, their role players kind of fizzle. Jerome is a defensive liability. He had to put him in eventually, and then he did spark him because they were down by too many points. He had to get his 3-point shooter in there. But Okoro and Dean Wade and these guys that were very good during the regular season, when they got kind of punched in the mouth a little bit, physical, taken out of your offensive flow, guess what happened? They were lost.
Yeah.
They felt lost to me.
But what you want, AR, is to not have to rely on those guys that much. And what you need is your big 4 to be consistent. They were injured, so I understand that hurt them. But Kenny Atkinson told us all that he lost belief in Jared Allen down the stretch. He didn't have him on the floor in critical minutes. So that was very loud to me.
All right, guys, if you're only good for the first quarter of your day, then it might be time to visit Low T Center. I don't want you to waste any more time or make excuses, and don't get caught up in the low-quality online TRT that charges you more than $100 just to start. Visit the TRT experts at Low T Center. They'll give you a free consultation, free test, get your numbers. There's power in the numbers. The treatment would then be personalized to your body, your individuality, and most major insurance will be accepted. You can choose whether you want in-center care or they'll ship it right to your house. So you'll be in control of your health and feeling your best. If you're looking to lose a little weight in the process, great. Get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment. The offer is limited, so do it now. Book at fixmylowt.com, fixmylowt.com. We come back with the Adam Schefter. We'll see if he has any leaks for us. 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with ONE+. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
NFL Playbook with ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Sponsored by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365.
All right, we are efforting our man, Adam Schefter. We'll have him in moments, hopefully. Manny, I thought this was very interesting that, you know, the tradition of the Cowboys and Lions playing, we can debate that, and we probably will. But the Chiefs actually playing on Thanksgiving Day for the first time in like 20 years is being as good as they are and as big of a draw that he is, Mahomes, and then having to go to Dallas. That jumped out to me.
Oh, yeah. That game is going to do numbers when it comes to millions. NFL games will always put up huge ratings, but that game with who you mentioned, Mahomes, Reed, Kelsey, maybe Taylor Swift does an appearance, who knows? But yeah, Chiefs, Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, I'll lock in. I'm not the biggest tradition guy, AR. Like, I don't really care too much. Just give me good games. Because what happens to me is when I see games that are on that Thanksgiving slate, like what I'm really trying to do is scout my nap window. Like, when can I get that second plate of mac and cheese and then go on and take a nap? Because if it's a dud of a game that I don't care too much about, that's the perfect time to hit the snooze button for a little bit.
Yeah, or what I normally do and flip to a movie.
That's on brand. Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
That's going to happen. This is a 4:30 kick.
4:30.
Does that fit your window, or is that your nap window?
We eat early, so depending on what the 1 o'clock game is, that I'm watching that game. Okay, so regardless, I'm not going to miss that game. But if the 1 o'clock game is a dud, then I will absolutely be napping.
It's impossible to know exactly what these teams are going to be come late November, but I think we have a pretty decent idea. And that one jumped out to me, and simply because the Chiefs don't play on Thanksgiving. It's just.
Said it's been 2 decades.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like I could even remember. So yeah. I like that part of it. And I really don't know whether or not Dallas will have, I mean, they might be out of it by then anyway. Who knows? All right, let's go to our man, NFL Playbook time. It's the senior NFL insider from ESPN, our friend Adam Schefter. Shefty, good to have you.
What is going on, gentlemen?
All good. Are you into these leaks of the schedule, or would you rather have it in one fell swoop, like 8 o'clock, it's peel and reveal, or do you like kind of the dripping out and giving people a little bit of an appetizer before the main meal tonight?
Look, here's the deal. It's all for production, it's all show. We know who everybody's playing. All that we're really talking about is when these games are going to be played, the actual dates. It's interesting. I don't think there's any news value in it, so I'm not into reporting per sources. But if and when the league or a network wants to make an announcement that they're putting on this game on this date, that's fine by me. Like, I don't really care. Like, there's no real news value. We could call the teams and find out who you're playing and put it out in advance, but that's not what the league wants, and this isn't something that is of great news value, if that makes any sense to me. Right, and then so whatever people want to do, it's fine by me. I'm good with anything. Yeah, I'm easy going.
I hear you, Chef. It's exciting for football fans to get any feel of football, throughout the calendar year. So, for me, I'm one of those people. I get pretty excited about it. Just something to get us through the next couple weeks in the summer. So, the other day, Chef, you tweet out a statement from Trey Hendrickson. He spoke to the media yesterday down there in the Natty. And so here we are, again, asking you, what is next for Cincinnati and Trey Hendrickson? He doesn't seem to be happy at all with the communication coming from the franchise's side of things. And it seems like, Shefty, to me, he's been obviously trying to get this done. But is that your understanding of this, is that they're saying to him, hey, we're not talking at all about this anymore. Our deal is our deal, and we're not moving off this thing?
The way I understand it is, there's not been any contact since the draft. And I think this has really been building inside of him for a while now. And if we go back to last year, he wanted a new deal then. They didn't give it to him. They said, come on in, play this year, produce. We'll take care of you. He went in. He produced. He led the National Football League in sacks. He's going into the last year of his deal. And while he's waiting to get a new deal that the Bengals have not, in his mind, stepped forward on, he watched Max Crosby become the highest paid defensive player in NFL history, only to be outdone by Myles Garrett, who became the new highest paid defensive player in NFL history. So he's watched players that he had more sacks than last year come on and get new deals when they had more time left on their contracts. And the Bengals spoke to him the way that they did, and Trey Hendrickson is scheduled to make $15.8 million this year. So he's looking to cash in. He's an older player. He's older than those other two. That's fair. But he's been a huge locker room guy, huge on the football field. You can't just replace that production. And it shouldn't be hard to figure out. The two sides should get this done, sit down, figure out what it takes, and move forward.
I know it's probably impossible for you to know, but you hear things and maybe you have an opinion on this. How far apart do you think they are? And does this have more to do with guaranteed money, years, where his age is now, or just the annual value? What do you understand about the impasse here?
Well, I can't say exactly how far apart they are, but I can say this safely. They're not close. And I can say that only because he saw fit to reach out to me on Monday and then have the press conference he did yesterday to discuss how far apart they've been. So they can't be very close. If they were close, he wouldn't be making statements and threats or however you want to categorize them. He wouldn't be saying, I'm not going to play this season without a new contract. If they were close, there's no way he'd be coming out and saying that sort of thing.
Shefty, when you talked to Trey, or I don't know how long the conversation was, so did you get any type of feel on whether or not he would be willing to sit out games? Because I remember us asking you last year, about the Hassan Reddick situation and the fines that were racking up for him. Did any of that come from your conversation with Trey? Is he willing to go down that path if he has to?
Well, again, it's middle of May.
Yeah.
So, look, all I can go by is what he's saying. And his words were, I'm not playing this year without a new contract. So if the new contract doesn't get done, it's one of those situations that's going to hang over the team all through training camp. It's going to be a big question as they're getting ready for their opener, whoever they're playing in their opener. And there'll be all sorts of things like that that just – look, last year the Bengals went through it with Jamar Chase. And the team has not started slow or not started fast in recent years. The Bengals have been the slowest starting team in the National Football League, and that's been – one of the key factors in their demise. They need to get out fast. The last thing you want to be doing is dealing with Trey Hendrickson, contractual questions all through training camp and the first week of the season about whether or not he's playing, correct?
Yeah.
I wanted to get your take on this coming off the NBA draft. I know you've spoken on it, but I want you to tell us.
Yeah.
I know you feel the way you feel, and I think a lot of people might feel this way too, is that if the NFL went to a lottery – and not just worst team gets best pick, then maybe you could incentivize some teams later on, or it would be more equitable, and that you couldn't kind of orchestrate a tank and really land a top quarterback or whatever. The NFL, these owners talk about everything under the sun. Has this ever been on the table, and would it ever be? Or did this narrative of, the NBA must be rigged, that the NFL would just stay away from it in general?
Well, first of all, I know that there are the doubters. I don't believe the NBA rigged the lottery. I just don't believe it. Could it have been back in the day with Patrick Ewing when it first? Yeah, I think everybody has their own suspicions with that. Do I think in this day and age where franchises are selling for record sums that the league is going to risk something, its integrity, to engineer a lottery that sends Cooper Flagg to the Dallas Mavericks? I don't believe that. But saying that, despite the questions and speculation about these conspiracy theories, just think that, last year it probably is a helpful thing. You know, if I were the fan of a team, we used the Cleveland Browns when they were terrible, and I wanted the first pick, and you're trying to incentivize these teams to play hard all the time. Now, the players' contracts are not guaranteed, so they're always going to play hard. But there are times when front offices, ownership, they don't want their teams to win. They don't want them to win. Like last year, the Patriots played Joe Milton in the last game, and the Buffalo Bills were smart enough to try to lose the game anyway, which knocked the Patriots out of the first overall pick. If there were a lottery, it wouldn't have mattered. Both teams can play. It doesn't really matter, right? Now, the Patriots wound up winning. They go to number 4. The Titans go to number 1. And the draft goes that way. So that's kind of the way it goes.
Real quick, Shefty, I know there were some rumblings out there that, maybe Aaron Rodgers was waiting for this day to come and go, that being scheduled day, to see if he wants to hop on this Pittsburgh Steelers train. When we talk to you next week, will Aaron Rodgers be a Pittsburgh Steeler?
I don't think anything's changed. I don't think. Now, let me preface this by saying we never fully know with Aaron Rodgers. But my guess, and I emphasize guess, would be at this time next week, it'll be no different. I think the next touchstone here for Aaron Rodgers would be into June for the Steelers' mandatory minicamp. I think that's a target in my mind. Like, if you're going to play with the Steelers at some point this season, I would think that you'd want to make the decision once and for all to sign with them sometime before their mandatory minicamp so that you could go in, meet your new teammates, begin to learn the new offense, be around the guys, and kind of get started with the acclimation process. I don't know when their mandatory minicamp is. It's like June 10th to the 12th.
That's right.
It is.
Yep.
Are those the dates?
I think you nailed it. Yeah.
I think sometime a week before, sometimes post Memorial Day. That would be my guess, but that's a guess. Now, I'll just say this: if that mandatory minicamp comes and goes, and he's not there, and he hasn't signed, he hasn't decided, that to me would be a little odd. Would that preclude him and prevent him from signing with Pittsburgh in the middle of July, late July, to go to training? No, it wouldn't. But if you're going to try to make a run for it this season, and you're going to try to take away the bad taste that last season left you with, don't you want to get started with the rest of your life to steal a line from Harry and Sally as soon as you possibly can?
Yes. By the way, that may be the best of anything you did today on this interview. That was the best because it hit me right where I needed to be hit. That was good. I love that. When you realize that's right. Well done, my man. Enjoy tonight, and we'll talk to you next week.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good job. Adam Schefter, senior NFL insider, here on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, we do have the Thanksgiving blockbuster that we talked about, but I want to ask you a question. We'll do this next. Would the NFL ever subject itself to what happened recently with the NBA? We'll hit on that next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
It's the Parade of Color at Oakland Nursery. The time to inject your home's landscape with lovely hues and shades that will explode all summer long. The best place to start is with flats. Now on sale during Oakland's annual flat sale. Flats of marigolds, petunias, begonias, and impatiens, normally $19.99 a flat, now only $15.99. 32 plants per flat for just $15.99. Oakland Nursery is 35 acres of spacious outdoor shopping and pure gardening pleasure. For 85 years, your landscape's color starts at Oakland Nursery.
Get Mega May discounts at Coghlan Kia. Lease a new Kia K4, only $89 a month for 24 months. Or get 1.9% financing for 48 months. Or $2,000 bonus cash on a new 25 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoglanKia.com.
Coghlan has the car for you. $49.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. 20 cents per mile over. Tax, title, and license fees exclusive. No security deposit. $400 disposition fee at lease end. 1.9 for 48 equals $21.65 for 1,005. With approved credit through KMF. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. N6225.
Bands are us when dreams don't end. Bands are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-BATH.
Baths are us. When dreams sunk in, Baths are us.
Common Man and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook inside Hollywood Casino. Golf tournament giveaway is on May 20th. Win a pair of tickets to the golf tournament where Jen Winters falls down. Visit Hollywood Columbus on social media and follow the steps for a chance to win.
That is a great golf tournament, but I am really just focused on this. All-you-can-eat ribs on Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout May, only at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Did I just say all-you-can-eat ribs?
Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-324-VEIN. That's 614-324-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Most radio stations suck. Here's why. They don't invest in local programming. We're live and local 14 hours a day. You can rest assured that every stupid thing we say is 100% local. Homegrown dumb since day one. The Fan.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
The best bet on the radio. This is Rothman and Ice.
If you go to Twitter and look at some of the NFL schedule leaks, it's pretty funny. In fact, there are other Twitter handles that are actually like NFL schedule leak. We have the leaks. NFL schedule leaks, NFL rumors and schedule leaks. Like there are specific Twitter follows. I don't know how correct they are.
Twitter.
Exactly.
We just got done talking to Shefty about Aaron Rodgers. And again, this is
a good one.
This is just a leak, right?
But this is a good leak.
This is,
if it's true, it's
coming from someone that covers the New York Jets. And it's been tweeted out that the Jets, AR, will open the season at home against the Steelers.
Love it.
So you got Justin Fields and possibly Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. Going back to New York.
Yeah. Going back to Gotham City. So just want to say this is a leak.
That would be
juicy, man. Good stuff.
I think it's absolutely something Rodgers would sign up for.
And this is something that the league is salivating over because that would do a big number. Number going there. I don't know. It doesn't say if it's 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. Don't know the day of the week either, but it is out there right now in the atmosphere that if Aaron Rodgers does sign with TLC's Pittsburgh Steelers, that the Steelers will be on the road week 1 against Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson, and the New York Jets.
Do you have the Browns schedule?
their opponents.
Home and away.
I can cook that up for you real quick. Big
Yeah,
Al.
I'm just curious because I want to look at some of these leaks to see if any of these would even be possible. I don't think so.
I got them in the sheet. Here we go.
Yeah.
What you want?
They're out of division. Obviously, they're out of division. Who are they playing again?
You want home or away?
Away.
Away, Patriots and Jets, Raiders, Bears and Lions.
Okay. So, yeah, not that it really matters because we know what the Browns are probably going to be, but I was trying to think of a week 1 away game for them that might have some juice to it. Maybe it would be at the Bears. Maybe Myles Garrett against Caleb and that newfound offense for Chicago would be something.
Okay.
I wanted to get you guys' opinion on this because I kind of brushed on it with Schefter. And I agree with him. I think the narrative that the NBA is rigged is old. I like the conspiracies. They're fun. It dates back to Patrick Ewing, and he said it with the frozen envelope and all that. And I said if this was going to happen, it probably would have happened a long time ago before technology was the way it was, when you could probably get away with more. And when Patrick Ewing went to the Knicks, and then I remember Shaq going to the Magic. Now, remember, the Magic was, won it 2 years in a row as a new franchise. Like, they had incentive to see him go there. And then LeBron mentioned the other, when he was on McAfee, hometown Cavs, that made sense. Although I will tell you, I was working at Channel 6 at the time, and we were debating pretty hard at that time whether they would take LeBron because they had to, or whether they would take Carmelo.
Who was a hot ticket at the time.
And he was older. He won the Natty, and there was debate on whether he'd be more of a complete player. And I remember saying at the time that it almost doesn't matter if LeBron never is as good as Carmelo. What you can have happen is not take him and have him be much better or better. Because then, and I think if I owned the team, I would look at it that way. And most people would be in that room probably saying, no, we're taking the best player. Let's not get caught up in the narrative of a hometown kid. I'm thinking, but you have to think, and you know where I'll go with this all the time. What's the worst case scenario? And will we come back to haunt us? Mm-hmm. And if that, you cannot have a guy grow up in the shadow and be that hyped, not take him and have him turn out the way he's turned out. So obviously it worked out. And then, Derrick Rose to his hometown Chicago Bulls. And there are plenty of other examples. But the idea of the NBA draft lottery being fixed is pretty fascinating because even TLC walked us through the one from this year on them rewarding Dallas because they traded Luka to Tinseltown and they got that in this. And we know we can connect the dots on why because of ratings. But the NFL I do think they would benefit from a lottery. And what the NFL has over MLB and NBA and NHL, in my mind, is one thing and one thing only. Less games, a lot less. Every game matters. Mm-hmm. And so it's a little different feel in the NFL that what doesn't exist in those other sports. Why the NFL is king 12 months a year in my mind is because their season is so condensed that it just means so much, where if you talk to a regular fan, 82 this, 162 of that, and they're like, all right, I'll catch one if I can. Do you feel, and we can get into this maybe top of the hour, but when you have the NFL and you have teams actively tanking for a great quarterback that could really make the difference, it does make sense that a lottery would be the better way to go.
I think so. I really think so. And if they want to model this thing after the NBA and flatten the odds, which I think was a good move by the NBA, then I'm absolutely here for it. And I think the NFL will open their minds and ears up to this because they're never going to miss out on an opportunity to make money. And that is going to be, I think it would be a headliner must-see TV event that day. The NBA lottery came and went. They probably didn't put up good numbers. Not too many people care about that, and I understand that. But the NFL, you're telling us we get to sit down and watch the ping pong balls bounce around and have the adrenaline rush of Roger Goodell up there and saying with the first pick, this team got that. Oh, yeah, I think they're going to be on board with this. So me as a fan, if they went down this road, I would have no issue at all with the NFL doing a draft lottery. And look, I hate tanking. I really do. Like, I understand why certain teams do it, especially when you get to a point in the regular season where you want to pull the plug. But I think it's also easier said than done to tank, to get in position, to get that quarterback or whatever that pass rusher is or whatever the position is that you're trying to acquire. And the NBA has taught teams now because of the flattened odds, just because you do tank does not mean you're going to get the guy.
What happened? Right?
Ask the Jazz, the Raptors, the Wizards, because those teams were blatantly tanking, and it did not work out for them. And so I think that would be a smart thing for the NFL to do, is to flatten the odds when it comes to that, to make things more balanced, if you will, when it comes to who's going to get that number one pick.
Here's why the NFL, well, they probably wouldn't do it for a couple reasons. And one is that they're the king of kings.
Yeah.
They don't need to make anything intriguing. We're already intrigued fully. And so it's not broken, technically, so they don't need to fix it. And they also aren't desperate enough to do it. And then the other part would be a little bit from the owner's standpoint and whether they would want it done. We'll do that top of the hour. And, Maddie, the Browns and their quarterback strategy, should it shift to this? You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Tinny.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
I need a small order of sheet metal to repair something in the shop. It's not much, but can you help me out?
At Metal Supermarkets, no order is too small.
Wait, really?
Yep.
What about small home projects?
Yep.
For a car I'm working on?
Yep.
Any kind of metal?
Yep.
Cut to size?
Yep.
With no minimum order?
Yep.
How about 1,000 cut pieces of aluminum flat bar?
Yep. Choose from over 8,000 types, shapes, and grades of metal in any quantity you need. And yes, we're serious. Any metal, any size, ready fast. Locally owned on Wilson Road.
Dealin' Days are back at Lindsay Honda. Lock in your deal in May. Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas. Simply pick your new 2025 Honda and enjoy 0% for up to 60 months. Yes, 0% for up to 60 months on all new 2025 Hondas, including HRV, Pilot, and Ridgeline.
Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Lindsay's got it, and you're gonna save.
See you, Lindsay Honda, during Dealin' Days.
See lindsayhonda.com for details.
At QC Kinetics, we're all about keeping you in the game, helping you get lasting relief from joint pain. That's why we're excited to announce that QC Kinetics is now partnering with the National Pickleball League. So many of our satisfied patients are avid pickleball players, and they're thrilled with how we've helped them get back on the court. As lead sponsor of the National Pickleball League, we're committed to help pickleball fans of all ages with the latest, most advanced regenerative cell treatments. These treatments use your body's own healing power, revitalizing and restoring damaged joint tissue the natural way, with no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. Whether you're a pickleball fanatic or enjoy golf or running or tennis, stay in the game with help from QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics, proud to promote active, pain-free living as a lead sponsor of the National Pickleball League. Call now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Everybody poops. Everybody pees. Mommy, will you call Mr. Rooter, please? 'Cause I gotta poop and I gotta pee. Only Mr. Rooter can clear the drain for me. Thank you, Mr. Rooter.
Hi, everybody. We call it what it is at Mr. Rooter. When you have a plumbing or drain problem, the team at Mr. Rooter is ready 7 days a week. Call us today and take advantage of our $95 drain cleaning special. Visit us at MrRooter.com. We'll be there quick.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with OnePlus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Well, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Cleveland Guardians going for the sweep in their series with the Milwaukee Brewers here in about 10 minutes up at Progressive Field. Gavin Williams makes the start for Cleveland opposite Logan Henderson. It's Pete Rose night down at Great American Ballpark as the Reds host the Chicago White Sox. Special start time of 7:14. Nick Lodolo versus Davis Martin, the pitching matchup. You can hear that one over on ESPN Columbus beginning at 6:45. NBA playoffs, the Knicks looking to end their series in Boston with the Celtics at 7. New York leads 3-1. The Minnesota Timberwolves up 3-1 in their series, host the Golden State Warriors at 9:30. Stanley Cup playoffs, Toronto hosts Florida at 7. That series tied at 2. Vegas looking to avoid elimination as they host Edmonton at 9:30. This one brought to you by RCD RV Supercenter in Heath, Delaware, and Pataskala, or you can find them online, rcdrv.com.
The perfect ratio of sports talk, dogs, pro wrestling, and gambling advice.
It's science.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, second hour of the program. Bobby Carpenter, 1:30. We'll walk him down the schedule road as well. I think some people think that the lottery in any sport or tanking is an overblown problem. I don't know if that's exactly true. I think it's a little bit of both. And the question was, should the NFL add a draft lottery system? So here's something interesting, and I'll make you guys kind of not guess, but you probably have an idea. If the NFL was identical to the NBA draft lottery results that we just had, who would be picking number one in the NFL draft?
Oh, without the percentages, you'd have to give us.
Tell you.
San Francisco.
Be the San Francisco 49ers.
So San Francisco
they
would
have
be
jumped
picking
from
1.
11 to 1.
So I see what you're saying. So they were the.
So now
So you're saying they're the Mavericks of the NFL last year.
That's right.
I got you.
So now let's react to that. Imagine if that happened.
Yeah.
What would we be saying? San Fran's a pretty proud, historic Super Bowl type of franchise. If they just landed the number one pick, I think there'd be outrage. I do. Now, it's not often that it's 1.8%. I mean, it's just not likely to happen, but it has. And that's why I do buy some of the funneling certain players to certain markets to prop them up is maybe happening. I have no proof. We're just going down the conspiracy road.
Who would have the second pick then in this?
Panthers.
Fake. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Panthers would have it. Browns would have been picking 6.
Which is.
Yeah. So it would have been like.
Not where you want to be.
No, nobody in here would be saying, wow, well, that worked out great. Like, but in a way, it is more equitable. It really is. The NBA draft lottery can potentially punish small markets. The NFL also has this over a lot of sports. Any given Sunday, there's not a team in the NFL that can't beat another.
It's very
unlikely.
rare.
It's unlikely the Saints this year, if they played the Kansas City Chiefs, would win.
To your
point.
point.
But if it happened, I don't think you'd be like, well, that game was thrown.
Not at all.
They threw the game.
The word parity, I think, gets thrown around sports a little too much in the NFL. I think it does apply. I think it does apply because it's rare that you and I are doing NFL picks against the number, and we're talking about a number that exceeds 14. Like that's
late in the year,
it's
it
pretty
does,
rare,
yeah.
and that's where teams sometimes start waving the white flag. But when we do our college football picks, when Ohio State's playing, I don't know, Appalachian State or Marshall or some of those teams, I mean, those get into the 20s and 30s sometimes. But in the NFL, that obviously levels off. So it's a hard game to play. It really is a tough game to play because we've seen teams get to that week 17, week 18 window, and it looks like they're not trying to win, and they mess around and win. And they mess around and win because how you orchestrate that from the top down to your players that are playing for pride. Sometimes it's incentives in their contract and all of those things. How do you order guys to go out there and not give your effort, especially in that sport? Because if that does happen and it looks like what we get in the Pro Bowl, it would be so obvious because you can't slow things down in the NFL. That's just not how it works, because that's why I think is a big turnoff of the Pro Bowl now is that we know guys just don't care and they're not trying. We don't see that level of effort in the NFL, even when we get to those last few weeks that in some of those games that don't really matter much.
So franchise altering moves. So when you were on the other side of the glass, Maddie, and Bobby was next to me, I remember in I don't know what year it was, but we had Dan Orlovsky on the program. And in 2011, when they sucked, Dan Orlovsky was quarterbacking at the end of the year. And I said to him that you single-handedly almost blew the Andrew Luck pick the way you were playing. And they were 2-14 in 2011. Horrible quarterback play. And the next year, they picked Andrew Luck. And guess what they did? They finished 11-5 the next 3 years. They were that bad, and he was that good. And his take on it was, I'm fighting for my job. I'm fighting to stay employed. Now, he's not half the player that Luck was. So, obviously they were going to have a better chance to win with him. But we've seen these trends. Panthers taking Cam Newton, reaching the Super Bowl 5 years later. We've had, it didn't work out with it did work out with Deshaun early in his career, coming off a natty. But yeah, listen, in 2008, the Bulls had the same chance the Mavs just had. Bulls got Derrick Rose from Chicago. You really going to tell me that the odds don't tell 1.8? Actually, theirs was like 1.4.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Almost 99 out of 100 times, that ball's not coming through that chute. And it did for that guy and that team and that city. And I think the reason that we don't care as much is it's the NBA. They play a million games, and it doesn't have that same feel as the NFL because one guy can alter a complete franchise in a season. It can in the NBA. I'm not saying it can't, but it's interesting. Anyway, we'll get to speaking of Orlovsky. He had this to say about the Browns quarterback strategy.
I would do everything I can to start either Shedeur Sanders or Dylan Gabriel this year. I would only start Joe Flacco or Kenny, and probably Joe if, oh my gosh, this is a disaster. And if you're Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barrow, their head coach and general manager, you go, hey, if one of these two kids starts, we're going to get fired. If it's that bad throughout the preseason. So I think Joe is just there certainly for comfort. The reps, I don't think that, and I saw Kevin, and I know you guys talked about this a little bit yesterday, the reps, like in the offseason, specifically in that spring period, reps really don't matter who you're doing them with because you got the receiver fluctuation of this guy's only going to take 4 reps. This guy's going to take 6 reps. This offensive lineman may not practice today. So like a lot of times coaches are trying to put you as the quarterback in situations with certain people rather than certain number 1, number 2, number 3 on the board type of thing. So sometimes it's like, hey, I want to see how he performs with the backup offensive line against the starting defensive line, or I want to see how he throws the ball to David Njoku, or I want to see how him and Jerry Jeudy communicate, stuff like that. So that's a huge part of it too, rather than what guy runs out there first, one guy runs out there second.
As they say in the show The Mandalorian, this is the way. I'm 100% with Orlovsky, and I said it yesterday. This shouldn't be about Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco. And look, Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Barry, to your point, AR, about tank jobs and players playing for their jobs, They may look at this completely different, but you got to find the answers to the test at this quarterback position, and you need to know when you hit the finish line of the season, what do you got in Gabriel and Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. And so the bulk of the season, I think, should go to those guys. How they do it, it's going to be must-see TV. I don't know. But you need to go into next year's draft and say, hey, with the 2 first-round picks that we have, the additional pick we got from the Jacksonville Jaguars, do we need to package those and move up to get Nussmeier, Manning, whoever that guy is going to be, or guys are going to be? You got to get in that draft window next season. So that is important. I think that is the number one focus for the Browns this year, is to not, hey, hand the keys to Flacco and Pickett because, hey, we can, scratch and claw our way to 4 or 5 wins. No. That ain't it. Because if you go into next year with no answers on Sanders and Gabriel, then what was this experiment for? So don't waste your time, or I think we're a lot of time, with the vets in that room. And I would be on board if they want to move Kenny Pickett. I'd be calling New Orleans right now because I think they need to clear up this quarterback room sooner rather than later.
It's interesting because I don't think they have to start, but they'd be a massive failure if they don't play the bulk of the season. Here's the problem with it. If you're just sticking him in there to sink or swim because that's what you need to know, then you are doing a disservice to every one of those guys, the rest that's on the team, practicing and strategizing and coaching to try to win that game that week. Because if the team gets the drift that, hey, we're not playing the best guy, we're only playing the guy that we think needs the experience, it can set a little bit of a tilt on what the NFL is about, which is best player plays. But I know exactly where you're going. He does deserve time.
I think
he'll have to get in there. And maybe after they lose, like, 4 of their first 5 or whatever it might, then it'd be a logical move to make.
I think the message has already been sent to the locker room. If you're Myles Garrett, if you're Denzel Ward, you're going to say the right things publicly, but I don't know if you truly believe that quarterback room, that the way it currently is constructed, it's like, hey, we're winning a bunch of games with these guys. I don't think that's the case. So the front office, outside of Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur and those being unknowns right now, Pickett and Flacco, those guys can't truly believe that they're going that far with those guys.
Don't you want to go back and revisit with Myles Garrett? Don't you want somebody to say to him, okay, after you signed and you were very happy and you were asked about the quarterback position and that you kind of knew the plan and the vision.
100%. I'd love to ask him that.
Is this what you anticipated?
Right. Yeah. I don't think if this is what makes him happy or made him sign that dotted line, then I would be blown away. Blown away.
Unless there was a vision and was a plan and it was that crazy Dak rumor or something else, and he bought it because they were paying him $40 million to buy it.
Along with it, yeah.
We'll come back with ins and outs next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes, let's go.
That's you taking another sip of your
Mountain Dew.
Do the Do.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes who are going above and beyond in their communities. Newman Roofing wants to recognize the volunteers, educators, first responders, and everyday difference makers who are making a meaningful impact in their towns to be recognized on 10TV and The Fan. Stay tuned as we begin announcing the selected honorees who truly embody the spirit of Newman Roofing's commitment to community.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here to let you know that Clayton Homes Sign and Save sales event is going on now. Clayton Homes is changing the way homes are built, making them affordable to buy and cost less to live in. And right now, you can save up to $5,000 instantly with the Sign and Save sales event. Every Clayton-built home uses quality products from the world's most trusted brands and comes equipped with Energy Smart features for year-round comfort and a lifetime of savings. Clayton Homes are designed with you in mind. Premium features that turn your house into your dream home. Get the luxury, quality, and style you want in a beautiful, affordable home with energy-efficient features to fit your budget. Check out their fully furnished new home models and see all the options available to create the perfect home. With many floor plans to choose from, Clayton Homes is certain they can help you find what you've been looking for. Visit the local Clayton Homes near you or browse their limited time deals at manufacturedhomeoffers.com to learn more. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through August 31st. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Can't get enough of your favorite fan content? Good news. We're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm this afternoon and evening. Temperatures making their way up into the mid-70s for highs today. We'll warm to the 80s for Thursday. Pop-up shower or storm possible in the afternoon, but a bigger risk comes through Thursday night into early Friday. Some storms could be strong to severe, so stay weather aware. More storms on Friday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present In or Out.
Just a little of the old in and out.
Exactly. All right, loose cannon. What do you got? All righty, here we go.
I love that sometimes when you hop on the mic, it just seems like you're hopping out of bed. Like, oh, here we go.
Give me a few seconds. I gotta get it.
I do that a lot, actually, and I notice it, and I'm like, dang. Well, you know what? There's a lot of moving and shaking going on around here. Just for a split second, but now I'm ready. All right. Are you in or out on the upcoming movie titled Madden, starring Nicolas Cage as John Madden, Christian Bale as Al Davis, and John Mulaney as Trip Hawkins, who is the founder of Electronic Arts? You may know them as EA Sports. So, there's going to be a movie about John Madden that ties in his football coaching career with the evolution of the video game with some familiar faces.
AR, I don't think I'm going to spend money to go see it, but it will get watched. It will get watched. Nick Cage to me doesn't look like Madden. He just looks like Nick Cage with like a different hairdo when I saw him in a picture. Now, maybe that was just one picture I've seen, and if I didn't see it, in the right light or whatever. But yeah, I'm not going to be hopping and skipping to the movie theater to go see this. But as soon as it drops on Netflix, Amazon, wherever they release this thing, Max, which now is going back to HBO Max, which is like, why didn't you guys stay there in the first place? They announced that today, but whatever. But I'm interested in the flick. I really am. But I'll watch it at the crib.
I think it's a pretty good observation by you that Madden was never, in my time of observing him, a thin man or a regular-looking guy. He was a big, figure in sports, stalking the sidelines, broad guy, big head. He was He was an imposing force on the sideline, John Madden. So I mean, obviously you need an actor to play him, and they got a pretty high profile one in Nick Cage. I don't know. I'm more into if this was a little more directed towards Al Davis and not whatever they're trying to do, because the Al Davis effect, I think, is massive, being the youngest coach, general manager ever and all that. Like, he had so much going, commissioner of the AFL, like the fights and everything going on, and the just win baby. I don't really know what. So you're telling me this is more about what? Madden's career?
It's not out yet. I don't know.
Did you hit us with the release date on
There's got to
that?
be some kind of description of the movie.
Let's see what I can cook up for you.
I'll just read.
You know my favorite
Read the Wikipedia page.
You know my favorite line, though, is TLC, when you mention the electronic arts?
What's that?
It's in the game. It's in the game.
I used to love hearing that.
Honestly, of a slogan for a company or a video game.
EA Sports.
It's in the game. It's in the game.
Yeah, you know, it was time to cook on that PS2 when you heard that.
The Wikipedia page for this film says premise.
Okay.
That's like the whole subcategory is premise. One sentence depicts the life of football legend John Madden.
Okay.
That's all we have.
I'll be interested in seeing it.
You going to see it, or you waiting like me?
There are a couple movies that I think I need to see in the theater.
Yeah.
I think there's a difference. I don't go very often. One is probably this final Mission Impossible. I think I probably should go to the theater to see it. Okay?
Tom Cruise, so much respect. The dude does his own stunts. Even at this age, he's still doing that. Like, that's baller right there.
Number two, I think I should go see this new F1 movie with Brad Pitt.
It caught my attention the other day.
Is he the one? No,
it's one of those guys from that era. No, it's not McConaughey. It's not Pitt. It's not. Who is it?
Yeah, it's Brad Pitt.
Is it Pitt?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's called F1. And I think that's a movie. You know, I love the open wheel racing. I think I have to be in the theater for that.
I did watch that trailer the other day. I think it's out there on TV right now. But yeah, from the show Snowfall, Franklin Saint, who is the big drug lord in that, he's a character in F1 as well. I think it's Damson Idris is his real name, so I'm in on that. I like to support whatever he does, but y'all might tap into that.
I'm with you, though. I don't think. What was your original question? Am I just in on seeing the movie?
Yeah. How about I like that, going to the movie to see it.
Yeah, I will not go to the theater to see this movie. It will be in theaters. It's not just a right to the old
All I know is that it depicts the life of John Madden.
My boy went to the movies a couple weeks ago, and he told me that what he likes to do is get his popcorn and put Sour Patch Kids in that. And I was like, okay, I've never heard that. I've heard people do like the Reese's Pieces and popcorn, chocolate, and salt. Like, I see the vision there, but Sour Patch Kids and popcorn, it's a no for me, dog. It's a party foul.
Are you in or out on picking the Browns and Bengals schedule game by game as a show topic?
Oh, we'll do it. We do it every year. It's a tradition. I remember James Laurinaitis texted, I think you or I, a couple years ago and said, why are you guys doing it? It's fun,
I
James.
think I actually just picked up the phone and he said,
yeah, I mean,
I think it was that.
I used to be stressed. He was a deep thinker when it came to the questions.
Hey, James. What are you going to have lunch today?
Yeah, I mean.
Hey, James, you think you guys are going to be able to go back to back?
Yeah, I mean. You got to turn that up, AR.
Sorry, buddy. I great minds. I was leaning over.
What's going on, James? Yeah, I mean. There we go.
Shout out to threes, man.
Should have stayed in South Bend.
Oh, he's starting stuff.
Wow.
Here he goes. He's starting stuff.
What? You know where my allegiances lie. Yeah. Come on.
Went to Ohio State, Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, because I don't switch teams every time that I haven't.
Was this because you couldn't get into Notre Dame? I don't think we have this.
I didn't even apply to Notre Dame.
You didn't? Okay, interesting.
He was the real Rudy.
I probably
went to Holy Cross and dreamed of across the water of maybe someday getting in.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
Are you in or out on prior COVID diagnoses still appearing on your Wikipedia page years after the fact, as is the case for a lot of celebrities, including Jimmy Fallon, when I was researching whether or not he was in whatever movie we were talking about earlier?
So you're saying if you're a public figure and at some point in time you tested positive for the vid,
yeah,
that this is on your wiki page?
Yeah, in the personal life section. There are a lot of celebrities, like years out, it's 2025, and if you were diagnosed with COVID It even says specifically with Jimmy Fallon, it mentioned that he was lucky enough to have mild symptoms.
I think AR just
your
created...
Your COVID diagnosis is still in your Wikipedia page for a lot, not everybody, but for a lot of celebrities.
I think AR just created a new drop for you in the background. If you could find his what? Because I'm with AR on that.
Oh, I have a Tyvus what?
I don't know what this is about. I don't know.
So here's what I don't understand. Unless you suffered some sort of emergency medical situation where you had to be hospitalized and you had some sort of climb out of the... Whoa. Okay, that's a little strong.
Let me get that again.
This is Tyvus.
What?
Oh, wow. Climbing out of the darkness, whatever, like it was a really bad thing. Then maybe I think health, I think that could be in your... Now,
where's HIPAA coming to play on
Fallon
this stuff?
has had some health issues in his life, and I'm wondering if that just lops onto his... Oh, and by the way, also...
But he's saying it's a lot of celebrities.
If you were like Tom
Hanks,
where you were one of the first, I get that. Or like you're saying, like if it's if you had
Rudy Gobert?
Rudy Gobert. The guy that started it all.
Rudy Gobert can have COVID in his personal life section on his Wikipedia page.
Yeah.
Somebody who had a mild diagnosis with mild symptoms.
Yeah, what are we doing?
Like, if you're going to take the time to get that detailed about my life, you can't find something more interesting than that.
Rudy Gobert, quote, started COVID.
Which is a myth.
Hey, or what he was...
He exacerbated it, though.
I am totally convinced that Donovan Mitchell had COVID and Rudy Gobert gave it to himself by messing with everybody else. Think about that. No one ever took the time to think about this. So Rudy Gobert is allegedly going through all of his teammates' stuff, not being careful because he thinks COVID's a giant joke.
Yeah.
And so the only two people who come out of that are Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell with COVID positive tests. So
he just made a mockery of it. That was the difference.
If Rudy Gobert is fooling around with everybody's stuff and Donovan Mitchell's the only one who tests positive, don't you think Donovan Mitchell had it and Rudy Gobert got it from him? The answer is yes. Thank you very much.
Well, guess we don't have to answer.
All right, last one. In or out? Are you in or out on... Hold on, I got to go to my other tab. In or out on FaceTime calls opposed to phone calls?
No, it would have to be something.
Love
it
this.
would have to be something special, I think. I don't know. I know that some people are into that. They always have to be kind of looking at the person. Now, I do think sometimes if you're somewhere and you need to show somebody something, like I'd be old school, I'd take a picture. Oh, is this the food you want? Is this... Hey, I saw this car. Like,
I see the vision.
But the FaceTime, you can quickly do those things. But I think a regular call?
Yeah,
No.
if someone's just like, hey, I need to ask you something. There are people out there who just instinctively reach for the FaceTime instead of a phone call.
It doesn't really
Getting all up in
bother
your
me
business.
either way, TLC. You know what really irks me, though, is like when someone texts you and then you text back and then they call you. Like, just because I'm texting you doesn't mean I want to talk on the phone. Like, I think that's the ultimate party foul. Like,
That means you're available.
we can, yeah, but that still doesn't mean I want to talk. I just want to use my thumb.
You know what I don't like?
Yeah.
When someone texts you a question or something that's meaningful, ask you how you're doing or how somebody else is doing, whatever, and then you text back a response, and then that's it. End of convo. Not, oh, that's good to hear, or like there's no official ending to the conversation.
So you say you send the question.
No. I've had people send me a question.
Yeah.
I answer it and then get nothing.
I'm that guy.
My aunt in the boot.
I'm that guy.
My aunt in the Boot Hill, Missouri, she hates this new thing. Well, it's not that new. It's been around for years. But when you like or emphasize or dislike a message, she hates when, like, if she'll ask you a question, your version of saying yes is just you like the text and you don't actually write out the letters.
I can't do that on an Android.
I think you can see my likes, though.
Yes.
But you can't do it to us.
And I'll look through my phone and go, why do I have 4 unread messages? And it's because I didn't notice the little emoji.
The little like or whatever.
She hates when
I'll tell you
people do
what,
that.
you can send messages through those. I'll tell you, because you can have, like on the iPhone, you have the ability to like or love.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a person that usually loves the message and then they hit you with a like, that's when they're usually a little upset. It's like the okay game. You get the okay, and then you get the O and the K, and then if they're really pissed off, you just get K. Like, there's levels to this, and you can send messages through that
And
stuff.
there's nothing more disrespectful than putting the question mark on someone's message. Like, what were you even thinking sending that text?
Come back with the big fella. Bobby Carpenter in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Truth of the matter is, you're listening to Rothman and Ice on 97.1 The Fan.
All right, he's the man. He's swimming upstream every morning from 6 to 8. He is my man, Bobby Carpenter. Big fella, how you feeling?
Oh, feeling good. And yeah, it has been some swimming upstream, but you know what? Today, Rothman, we actually had a penalty-free game, which was nice. You know, the video was coming through, the audio was coming through. We've got our whole team there. They're working their butt off trying to make sure that it's going. You know, sometimes maybe you need another week of training camp before you get ready. You know, you probably felt like Ryan Day in the spring. We're like, hey, who's going to be the starter? Well, nobody, because I don't like any of them right now. So we're moving that way, and the guys are working really hard. But it's been fun, man. We got in I had a great baseball debate this morning on Pete Rose and everything going on with him, and so it was fun with Fitoff and Shark. You know, a little bit of a get off my lawn baseball talk.
That's right. I like it because I also feel like I'm watching you, the three of you, in the Big Brother house. I feel like I can get a nice bird's eye view, and maybe I could catch Fitoff napping at some point or something's going to go on. And I like when you go to that Big Brother shot. Makes me look like I'm kind of voyeuring in.
Well, that's the thing. The Big Brother shot ensures that you have to have pants on because it's such a vertical shot. It looks right down. So, you know, if you're Maddie and you're hanging out like Winnie the Pooh, which she can do sometimes in the studio, it wouldn't be advantageous for you, Matthew.
Not at all. You know, Bob, I'm one of those people that I get pretty excited about schedule release day. I love any type of football I can get. You've been in the league, like as a player, when this day rolls around, how does this land for you guys getting the official schedule out there?
You want to tell? I'll tell you exactly what I did, and this is every place I was. Dallas, because we would play before they built the new stadium. The old one was the worst thing. It was an indoor stadium with a giant hole in the top. So it was like having your living in a home without air conditioning, but never opening the windows. So you got no breeze. The sweat would just pour off of you. So I would look at our games and I would say, okay, who are we playing? Like, what is our other division we're playing in the NFC? Who's our cross division in the AFC? And I was like, when are we playing these teams? I'll never forget, like, we played the AFC South my first year, of course, playing at Jacksonville week 1, sweat box. Like, we played at Tampa week one, my fourth year. We played at Miami, like the second game, my second year. I mean, it was just brutal. And then why can't we have those games in November and December? Oh no, they're going to send us up to Philadelphia and New York then. I was like, can we get the home games later in the year and the northern games earlier in the year so we can really get that mild climate that you're looking for the whole time? So that's what I was always looking at. And then, when you're in Dallas, it's like, hey, who you're playing on Thanksgiving, one of your other 18 primetime games between Monday and Sunday nights, and who are those going to be against? Because then all of a sudden, Maddie, you get the flood of calls and texts from all your dudes at home that are like, hey, want to come in for this game this week and this and that. And, that was always kind of the fun part of it.
Are you a believer in that the NFL should eventually get to a lottery and that it should flatten some odds and kind of discourage some tanking? It's such a shorter season that you might just have to throw a couple games for it to really matter at the end. How do you feel about the way it's set up now where loser gets the spoils?
I mean, we already, here's the thing, the NBA, all these other teams have lotteries, and now it's not even the ping pong balls like we had before. It's this digital machine, Rothman. So, all they just said is, they traded Lucas, so they gave him Cooper Flag. It's fixed. Honestly, I don't know I don't want the lottery because then it's only going to be another conspiracy tinfoil hat situation. And honestly, I can't say that it might not be. So NFL, and plus the other thing with the NFL is one player, while they may make a huge difference, like in basketball, in football, you're one of 11 guys playing on half of the game. So yes, a Peyton Manning can change your fortunes. But then there's also Ryan Leaf. You look at how good some guys have been at the top, and then you look at maybe some guys haven't been. So, and some years there's not a great quarterback to even choose from. So at the NFL, I don't think it's as big a deal. And I like how it is because, okay, if you're going to lose another game or two, maybe it'll help you. Maybe it won't because maybe you're tanking for Arch Manning who decides to come back for one more year, and then it doesn't help anyway.
Yesterday, we kind of caught wind of some of these Ohio State, noon kickoff games, right? It looks like that Texas game is going to be a noon kickoff. Obviously, the Michigan game is what it is. That's a historic time slot there. But what's your feel on that, BC? Because I know some Buckeye fans aren't too happy about Longhorns, Buckeyes out of the gate kicking off at high noon over there at the Shoe.
Okay, so what if I told you, Maddie, you're the Baltimore Ravens, and you have to go play Kansas City December 31st at night in Arrowhead. But then the next year you're going to play them at 1 p.m. at home in September.
It's not great, yeah.
It's not great because you know what's going to happen next year? If this was just a one-off game, fine. But you know what the problem is? Next year, you're going to have to go down to Austin, Texas. That game's going to be at 7:30 at night. It's going to have so much froth. It's going to be like a foam party from back in 1999, in spring break in Panama City. That's going to be the intensity that you have. And you don't have that in noon games. And I'm not a guy that's I make every game a night game, but that game deserves to be a night game. Last time we played Texas in the Shoe was in 2005. It was a night game, and it was phenomenal. Rothman was there. He probably forgot about it after the game, drinking away his sorrows in the Holiday Inn lobby. But that to me, it just should. Even at 3:30, I'd be happy with. But you have to give some requisite level of buildup.
My preference was Daytona Beach. I was a Daytona Beach guy, spring break. Were you Maddie was a Panama City guy.
Yeah, Panama.
What were you?
I was Woody Hayes spring break. AJ and I would just stay back and lift weights and be meatheads. So I believe me, I'm an envy of Sonny Styles. But I'm like, oh, where are you going? Oh, I'm going to go to Greece with my girlfriend for 5 days. Must be that's great. I'm like, I'm happy you're making this money. That doesn't even resonate with me with a college guy. Oh yeah, we're going to go to Hawaii or go here. I'm like, dude, we were getting in a car. I remember watching T.J. Downing. We used to have a meeting because spring ball would start the next day. And I remember my senior year watching T.J. Downing pull in. He had a silver Pontiac, oh gosh, what was the little Pontiac?
Firebird?
On fire.
No, I mean, what was that?
Grand Prix. Yeah, the Grand Prix, a silver Grand Prix. And he pulls into the Woody Hayes for our 6 o'clock meeting at like 5:57, and he looked like you just pulled him off the beach in Panama. I mean, he had the glisten. He smelled like cigarettes. He had the back of his seat was packed down with clothes and all kinds of nonsense. And like, he was one of the few guys I know that had the stones to go do that. I'm like, I don't want to come into spring ball just feeling like poop. So I was like, I'm going to stay running. I can party afterwards and have fun later in life, or else I would have been a big Panama City guy, man. Like, going to like Club La Villa down there, I mean, it's amazing. Stay at the Holiday Inn, you know. I mean, they made raps. They got rap songs about that stuff.
They do. That's for sure. Some good memory down there. Hey, I want to jump on this Trey Hendrickson mess down in Cincinnati. He comes out yesterday, Bob, and I'm sure you were aware. He's like, hey, you know, Zach Taylor's texted me about if you don't show up in a couple weeks, you're getting fined for mandatory minicamp. And I just. That part of this equation, I don't understand. I get the money and the two sides not seeing eye to eye, but the mishandling of this, I think, on a personal level is probably what's ticking Trey off along with the money as well.
Yeah, and it goes a little bit to, you know, Rothman's North Dallas 40. When we say you say it's a game, we say it's a business. When we say it's a business, you say it's a game. And like Trey Hendrickson's not wrong. He led the NFL in sacks. There's two other guys with Crosby and Miles that are making, you know, 40 or close to 40, you know, and not that he's making peanuts, and they're like, just be happy for it. Like that was the biggest slap in the face in the world. I've been in a situation like that recently where, hey, I'm not asking to break the bank on things. I'm just asking for market value. And I don't think Trey Hendrickson's probably asking for $40 million. He's probably saying, can you get me in the 30s, give me a 4-year extension, and I'll finish out a Bengal and give me some guarantees. But I honestly think, and this is where it comes down to Cincinnati and their cash situation, where you have to escrow dollars when you guarantee money. Guys, they've just escrowed a lot of dollars for 2 receivers, and they may be able to work it under the cap, but I don't know if they have the dollars to be able to escrow if they guarantee them $100 million, that they have that to be able to throw into a bank account to sit here for the next, you know, year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, I agree. That's the curse of being a Bengal right now for some of these guys. My man, stay well. We'll be listening and watching. Thanks for jumping on as usual.
Hey, but remember, Rothman, it's not as bad as the curse of Daytona Beach, which might require a double dose of penicillin when you get back on Monday.
I'm willing to pay that price, and I did.
Well, that's many times.
It's one of many. Thanks, bud. See you later. All right. I was in Daytona Beach spring break, and one of my buddies walked like right into just a parking sign, you know, like a no parking here sign, like you're walking down the sidewalk, just like right. I mean, like boom, right.
He was lit when this happened. I would hope he was lit when this happened.
All right. I want to tell the guys out there that you shouldn't feel like that every day. You really shouldn't. And don't waste time and money with low-quality online TRT that charges you money to just start. Visit the TRT experts at Low T Center. You'll get the free consultation. You'll get the free test. They'll personalize the treatment for you, for your body, for your needs. Most major insurance is accepted. It's really about having the power to feel better and get the numbers and find out if this is the question to what the answers to the questions that you've been asking about, you know, testosterone, because you hear a lot about it. You hear a lot about it on the station, obviously, but I want you to go to the experts. They've been doing it for more than a decade. Low T Center is the place, and if you need the help, they'll guide you through it. You can get weight loss prescription meds there. You get a free B12 shot when you start prescription treatment there, but the offer is limited. So go to fixmylowt.com, fixmylowt.com, and get those answers that you've been curious about. We come back with the Buckeye Bulletin. And Urban Meyer really emphasizing the game. We'll tell you why next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
The meatloaf!
The Fan.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver. Leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell air conditioners instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Hey friends, Brandon Beam here, and when I dropped 70 pounds with Awaken 180, it felt like finally finishing a massive home renovation. You know, job done. Everything looks sharp, but it gets better, actually. I just had my first free monthly maintenance visit, and I found out I lost another 4.2 pounds without really even trying. It's like discovering an extra room in your house you never knew was even there. Awaken 180 isn't about meds or quick fixes. It's like learning exactly how to stock your fridge and pantry with all the right tools. I still eat plenty, still feel satisfied, and now making healthy choices is second nature. Like flipping the light switch on the first try in the dark. My body's firing on all cylinders, and I'm down 75 pounds without medications or hunger tricks. Just real education on eating smarter and feeling fantastic. Call Awaken 180 or visit awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, once you learn the blueprint, your only regret is not calling them sooner. 844-346-1800. 844-346-1800.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news. We fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139. Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Airflow Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, a little Buckeye Bulletin time for you. All right, so yesterday we said that, Fox announced the game time for Texas at Ohio State. And fans aren't happy. They won't be happy. Got to be a night game. Got to be prime time. We've been through this. I know that Ross Bjork has been trying to get more primetime games. Why wouldn't he? You want to have that program showcased to as many people as possible. When we're playing 9 a.m. on the West Coast, it's not as good. Ohio State has been the featured game a lot. And I think this is what they paid the money for. If you're going to get into a contract with them, then I guess they have control over it. I mean, Ohio State certainly could buy their way out of it if they wanted to, but there'll be a big noon featured game of the week, August 30th. It's going to be a top 5 matchup, maybe a top 3 matchup, maybe 1 versus 2. Who knows?
Right. Yeah.
But Buckeyes have carried massive weight for this. And when that show started, the Big Noon Kickoff in 2019, Ohio State's been featured 22 times. That's tops, more than Michigan. And even last year, they were featured 5 times. They had 7 noon starts. And so it started to gain some steam here on what's going on. So I don't know what to tell you. I think it's fairly locked in stone, but I guess things could change. But that's their big deal. They want people to watch their pregame. Mm-hmm. That's the one they lead into, is the massive affair of the week. And, years ago, noon was a great start. Kind of had some cachet playing at high noon.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
On the opposite side of this is the game day ESPN/ABC competition that Fox is dealing with. And the draft of these games, I guess, is it's a lot of information to consume if you're just a casual college football fan. But on that same day, August 30th, ABC will have Clemson and LSU kicking off at 7:30, which I think will be Fowler and Herbie doing that. So that's going to be the big prime time slotted game on the 30th, with Ohio State and Texas kicking things off at high noon.
Urban this was on the podcast.
Yeah, his podcast. Yep.
Okay. We talked last week about the game when Jack Sawyer and Will Howard talked about how the ultimate prize is certainly the national championship. And it's not that you don't want to beat Michigan, but if you had to choose one, they would choose to be the last team standing. I think everybody understands that. But I never thought it was between hey, if you go 1-11, as long as you beat Michigan, everything's fine. Not that stupid to think that would be okay. As long as you won that game, of course that's not it. But Urban was asked about his respect for the Michigan program, where it stands, but really slanted towards the kind of I wouldn't even call it a slap in the face, but it was kind of like I never really wanted to believe when your biggest rival is doing something so against the rules. Like, I think he had such respect for this rivalry that when you won the game, it mattered so much because you did it the old-fashioned way. Here he is on that.
You're the head coach at Ohio State. You dislike the Wolverines. I grew up an Ohio State fan, but I've said this many times, and I fight many and say, name a person who has more respect for the Wolverines than Urban Meyer, and I don't know if there's that many. We're in State College, and all of a sudden, it was like wildfire. We're hearing accusation after accusation, and I've experienced it. My staff experienced. I've had friends experience accusations that you scratch your head and say, that is not true. And so if you remember, I was one of the few people, there were many analysts across all different networks that were piling on saying, and I said, pump the brakes. First of all, find out if it's true. I would not even comment. And I remember even Fox, our producer, asking, do you want to be more strong on that? And I said, I don't, because what if it's not true? I'll be honest, when I first heard, or a member of the staff was on the sideline on another staff dressed up like an assistant coach videotaping, I was like, that's not true. There's no way that happened. It happened.
Did you guys watch the Sign Stealer on Netflix?
I heard there was not much to it, so I did not tap in. No,
you didn't. Yeah, I haven't either. We talked about it so much. I think it's time that I do check it out, because what I do know from this, and specifically what Urban was talking about, that in the Netflix documentary, the real Connor Stallions held up a picture of the guy that was in the Central Michigan garb that Urban just talked about, and basically claimed in the documentary,
I got a twin? Because it sure looked like him on that sideline.
Not even a twin. I don't even think the guy looks like me. That's what he said.
Yeah, whatever.
So I need to really now get involved in that part of it, because there were so many photos of that goateed, sunglasses at night wearing dude from Central Michigan on the sideline of that Sparty game, and CMU was looking into whether it was Connor Stallions. Did anything ever come from that?
I don't remember exactly what came from that, but I do remember when that photo or videos came out, I think there were people alluding to that the sunglasses he had on were glasses you could record things with as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. That had the little blue light or whatever. Yeah,
it got wild. It got wacky.
It had to be.
How would Central Michigan not know who was on their sideline?
It's a phenomenal question.
McElwain was asked about it, and he claimed that he was unaware of it and didn't approve any of that. He's totally unaware of it. We ran the soundbite.
Especially for a road game, Like for a home game, I could understand. And this was at Sparty's house, correct? Do I have that right, AR?
Yeah, it was Sparty.
It was like for a home game, you got people coming in, family, recruits, blah, blah, blah. The sidelines get pretty crowded. But when it's the road team, it's the personnel that you know and know very well. So to your point, TLC, how he got down there is the head scratcher for sure. It makes no sense.
People don't start talking and be like, hey, who's that guy? And then you realize that not a single person on your sideline knows who that is.
Right.
They had to have been in on it.
Let me tell you.
For one reason or another.
If he did it there, he did it in other places.
No doubt, AR.
I don't think it's the only one. But that's what Urban was talking about. But I don't remember, and that's why I probably need to go watch this, or at least find out if anyone has ever circled back and positively identified him as that guy. Because at the end of that podcast segment, it sounded like Rob Stone and Urban were like, yes, it was that guy.
Okay.
100%. I believe it was too, but I don't think there's ever any perfect evidence of it.
Speaking of Untold, you can watch Urban. They got one on the Florida Gators on there too, called Swamp Kings. I think it's a whole series.
Maddie, we'll come back with the story of the day, which is...
The schedule? For me, it is.
The leaks. It's the age-old story, but it has the twist that now he's actually going to get the ultimate honor, or could get the ultimate honor, but would it still be meaningful? We'll hit that next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at the Honda dealership here in Central Ohio, Germain Honda of Dublin. You know the brand, you know the reliability and the styling. Now get to know the deals. Grab a new 25 Honda HR-V, a 25 Accord SE, or even a 25 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for 0% up to 36 months. Talk to my man Rich. Get the right vehicle, the right deal at the right dealer. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week's honoree is Stuart McGinn, a 12-year patrol veteran of the Columbus Police Department who's seen the toll that high-stress work takes on first responders. Inspired by CPD's therapy dog unit, Stu found a way to give back by training his rescue dog, Albie, to become a certified therapy dog. Together, they volunteer at Ohio Health, offering comfort to frontline healthcare workers, one tail wag and smile at a time.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Hiring today for tomorrow with WM.
A stable career and a safe environment. That's what you get as a heavy-duty mechanic at WM.
Plus great benefits like 100% tuition coverage for you and your family.
WM is now hiring heavy-duty mechanics in Columbus. Get boot and tool allowance and additional pay with a Cummins certification or CDL license.
There are openings for CDL truck drivers too with home daily routes.
Apply online at careers.wm.com. That's careers.wm.com.
A people-first, military-friendly, equal opportunity employer.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ. That's JOEQ to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct poor foot biomechanics, which leads to providing me long-term pain relief. I was also the guy who thought, well, if I buy good shoes, my feet won't hurt. It wasn't a bad thought. A lot of people think shoes are always the problem, when in reality, it's often the foot that goes into the shoe that's the real source of discomfort. When I got my personally fit Good Feet arch supports, my feet felt stabilized. The pain and discomfort went away. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people, just like me, discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Baseball going on right now up at Progressive Field. They're in the bottom of the third inning. The Guardians and Brewers tied at 1. Kyle Manzardo, his 10th home run of the season. The Reds hosting the Chicago White Sox at 7:14 this evening. Nick Lodolo versus Dave Martin, the pitching matchup. You can hear that over on ESPN Columbus beginning at 6:45. In the NBA playoffs tonight, the Celtics hosting the Knicks at 7. The Minnesota Timberwolves host the Golden State Warriors at 9:30. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, Toronto hosting Florida at 7. Vegas looking to avoid elimination as they host Edmonton at 9:30. Team USA beat Norway at the World Hockey Championships this morning. Zach Werenski with an assist for the U.S. in his first game, also over 30 minutes. And the Baltimore Ravens and Derrick Henry have agreed to a 2-year, $30 million deal. This one brought to you by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio at germaintoyota.net.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program. And we'll get to what is, another big layer. And this is a huge bit of news for Pete Rose and his family. Not for him, obviously, but, a lifetime ban is defined as that. Well, his life is over, so the ban is lifted. And it's one of those, and everyone's described this, I think, the right way. First of all, we know where we're doing the show. I think most people listening, or a lot of sports fans, feel a lot of emotion towards Pete Rose, and why wouldn't you? Nobody ever played more games or collected more hits and played the way he played it. And so I've always had to go into this being very understanding of why, if you're against him going in, that I think automatically you kind of become, a hater or someone that wants to just keep someone down. And I've never really looked at it that way. I've always thought that Pete, unfortunately, this is no pun intended, gambled with his own legacy. I think at the time he probably didn't, think it mattered or didn't think he'd get caught or thought there was nothing wrong with it because he bet on his team to win as a manager. You go pretty deep into the weeds on some stuff with him, and it's, did he throw a pitcher way too long because he got a lot of money riding on the game? Did he mismanage the game because of his own financial
Gotta cash
pressure?
in on that last leg of the parlay, AR.
Yeah.
You know what this pressure is like. It happened to you last. You would have liked to cash out on the Cavs last night before the win.
But I'm not managing a professional baseball team. Just an average dude sitting at home with no impact on the game whatsoever. He had major impact. And listen, is it the cardinal sin? It seems like it. Integrity of the game is big. I think he justified it for many years and that he was betting on his team to win. I don't know if there's probably some evidence that the games that he wasn't betting tipped off a lot of people, the bookie and people they talked to. Oh, wait, you're not betting today. Well, maybe now you don't have confidence you'll win, so we'll go the other way. So I don't know. I mean, I know the National Baseball Hall of Fame is also called a museum, and certainly you could put him in there and tell the story. I always thought it was this is the ultimate reward for any professional athlete to be in the Hall of Fame. So the people that kind of said, oh, well, it's a museum and you got to tell the story. And no, I don't know. That's fine.
You can't really tell the story of baseball without Pete Rose because of the accolades that he has racked up. Runs, hits, outs. You don't even have to.
Those are the major.
I'm just saying.
He's more than worthy.
I know, but I'm just saying.
As a player, yeah.
Those are the major categories, right? And
that's right.
The hit king of the sport, you're not telling the story without his name being mentioned. I've always been able to compartmentalize him as a player and a manager because the betting stuff happened, as a manager. And him as a player, obviously he's worthy of being in the Hall of Fame. What I find very unfortunate about this is Major League Baseball's actions at this point. And lifting up the curtain on this and doing this because he's no longer with us. That, to me, just doesn't feel right. I don't understand why the timing of that is the way that it is. And that is, I think, very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate is that this guy, whether you believe he deserves to get in or not, I think we could all get to a point and boil it down to, if you want to just look at the baseball part of it, what he did as a player, he is a slam dunk all day and tomorrow worthy candidate of being in Cooperstown. And before he passed, he did have this clip, and I wanted to play this audio for you. And TLC, go ahead and fire up old Pete and what he thought about getting in and what this can mean not only for him, but his loved ones as well.
I don't see much sense in putting me on the ballot after I die, because for a player to go into his or her Hall of Fame, it's more or less for your family and it's more or less for your fan base. And I'm big on both of those two things right there. And I know most of the people who rooted for me my whole career would love to see me in the Hall of Fame as a living player, not as someone that's 10 feet under. What good would it do my family if they put me in the Hall of Fame after I die? This is America, okay? We live in America, the greatest country in the world. I keep convincing myself or telling myself, hang in there, Pete, you'll get a second chance. This is the one country that gives you a second chance. And I've been suspended for almost 30 years, and I've been close to a second chance. But there again, it's in the hands of baseball. No one feels worse about what I did than I do. Okay, but there's nothing I can change about the history of Pete Rose. I did it, and I'm sorry I did it. And I've been saying I'm sorry for almost 30 years.
That's, by the way, that is what's changed. He didn't show a lot of remorse early on.
He lied.
He did lie.
He was lying.
And he looked at Jim Gray and said, I can't believe you're asking me that question. And made other people feel like it was their fault for what he did. I agree with you. Statistically, and the player he was, unanimous all day long. No one's ever argued whether he had the credentials to get in. It was never about that. It was the not showing remorse and lying and all that and kind of squandering opportunities to maybe smooth over the waters. But he is one of the greatest players in the history of baseball. And what he's missing here, I think, or what he did miss, was that the punishment, unfortunately for him, and this is the rough one, is that he's the one that doesn't get to experience it. And what he's saying is that there's no redeeming value at all for his family. But I would disagree with that. I think that this is actually the reward for his family. That it is that if he can get in, that he squandered the opportunity to actually experience what it would be like.
I love to hear from them. I love to hear from them on that. There's no slam dunk here that he's getting in, right? Like that. This isn't set in stone that this will happen. But to me, it's going to be a very awkward and unfortunate situation that day if he does go in, where it's his family and who else is going to be there to represent him, that he's not there. Like that to me is just not going to feel right. But his name will live on forever. Hall of Fame or not, it probably would have been that, but this will stamp who he was as a player. And I think that's what I'm focusing on right now, is that number 14 and Charlie Hustle, and not only just the hits, but the highlights of him running the bases so hard and playing hard and just doing things the right way on the field when it comes to specifically that aspect of the sport.
So what he did itself, impacting the game, betting on the game, whatever, that's
because it was a manager. That part.
You don't think he ever bet on anything?
I don't know. I'm not going to assume. I'm not going to assume. But because of what I know and what we know, and that this and what we've been told is that he was doing this as a manager, I can push that aside and look at him as a player and saying, he deserves to be in the room with all the greats.
There are steroid dudes in there. Yep. This is one of those things that I think if he would have handled it differently and maybe not held on to the lie for so long, maybe there was a chance. It's sad.
Are you team keep him out forever? If you
no, I'm not. I would not be leading the charge in keeping him out. I certainly wouldn't be drumming to get him in.
But let's say the sheet of paper's going around right now, and there's the Y box and the no box. Which box are you checking?
Depends what the criteria. If the criteria is that he committed the ultimate sin of betting on baseball while he was a manager, then I would have to say no. This is a penalty that unfortunately you paid for and that you gambled with your own legacy and lost. It doesn't mean that I don't respect him of what he did on the field.
There's people with
this
you.
This is the ultimate. It's probably, I don't know if it's not 50-50 in Ohio. It's probably 90-10. And because there's also fatigue. I mentioned that earlier. It's like, how much can you really care? And now that he's gone, don't you have some sympathy for it? Like, I think that's the other part of this, that people are like, what more can you do to this guy? He's gone now. Like, and so I'm with you, Matty, on if he goes in, I'd certainly be happy for his family, and I'd understand it. Yeah. But I feel like we keep moving the accountability goalpost because now that he's gone, there's no sense in keeping him out. It's a rough one. I struggle with it. He was a gem of a player. He was everything that the game would want. Fundamentally, IQ, caring, all that. And he just got drawn into that horrible part of it, the financial part of it. And he became kind of it just kind of came sleazy over the years. It's really too bad. And I don't want the Hall of Fame to profit off his bats and cleats and all that.
They're going to do that.
And not have him in.
They're going to do that.
I think he will get in. I think he'll get in, and I don't think that, and certainly that'll be great for his family. And I think, unfortunately, the ultimate punishment was that your lifetime ban was lifted when your life ended. And now the immortality of being in the Hall of Fame. And I've heard people say that Pete didn't care about actually being in the Hall. He cared about not being associated with the game. But there is immortality when you're in there in that way. And so I think that that's probably what will happen, that he'll go in now after his death in a few years or a couple of years. What is it, summer 28? We'll see. He still needs 75%.
That's what I'm saying. This isn't a slam dunk.
No. Yeah. And the more we talk about it, the more of his history or the kind of player he was, then maybe that will be good enough. But you talk with guys that played with him, managed him, knew him, teammates, that there was no better dude to go to battle with on the field than Pete Rose.
Fellas, there's no better place to go if you're not feeling well than the Columbus Men's Clinic, because if you've been waiting to treat your ED or low T, energy levels are all over the place, it's time to get on over to the CMC because they help you with your gym goals, your sex life, your career. You'll just be in a better mood. You'll have a clearer head, clearer mindset. Others around you will notice the difference when you go over to the Columbus Men's Clinic. They specialize in seeing guys who think they are out of luck regain all the hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. Seriously, this team has been around for 10 years. They've been number one in Ohio for men's health for a long, long time. So stop thinking about it and get on in there. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400. Or go online to columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. columbusmensclinic.com.
All right, the King continues to get paid. We'll tell you about that next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Head to 971thefan.com to listen on demand and subscribe to all our podcasts. Wasting time has never been easier. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at the Honda dealership here in Central Ohio, Germain Honda of Dublin. You know the brand, you know the reliability and the styling. Now get to know the deals. Grab a new 25 Honda HR-V, a 25 Accord SE, or even a 25 CR-V LX all-wheel drive for 0% up to 36 months. Talk to my man Rich. Get the right vehicle, the right deal at the right dealer. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road just south of 270.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, cleaner, greener, better.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
When it's time to ask life's biggest question, make sure your ring says it all. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar, and we've been helping couples say yes for over 78 years. From brilliant cuts to better prices, the quality and selection of our diamonds is unmatched. Because diamonds aren't just our business, they're our legacy. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com. Bigger diamonds, better prices, guaranteed.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here with a challenge. Well, a challenge might not be the best choice of words, so let's say an opportunity. Take the opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th with Awaken 180. Has a different ring to it when you have a finish line, doesn't it? 40 by the 4th. Maybe you looked at the scale this morning and it read 230 pounds. How about it reading 190 by the 4th of July? Maybe the scale says 300. Wouldn't the 260 number be a little nicer on your eyes and on your knees? It's attainable if you have the same results we all had with Awaken 180. I dropped 40 pounds in just 8 weeks. There's no reason you can't drop 40 by the 4th and be feeling as great as I still do now. Ring Independence Day in, healthy, confident, and most important, feeling happy. You reached your goal with the help of Awaken 180. So fire up your grill and grab your beverage of choice because the weight's staying off thanks to free support for life. 40 by the 4th. Set your goal and reach it. Reserve your consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
The Fan has been ranked as the second best sports station in America by our industry peers. Our heartfelt thank you is in order. But we're not doing it because we're better than that hillbilly Birmingham station that came in first. Thanks for nothing.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Scattered showers and some thunderstorms possible this afternoon with highs in the mid-70s. We'll fade those out tonight, back to the 80s. Tomorrow, again, could see a pop-up shower or storm during the afternoon. Bigger risk for severe weather comes in Thursday night into early Friday. That's when a 10 TV Weather Impact Alert Day will be in place, so make sure you're staying weather aware. That's your latest 10 Weather Impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Leads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Bet365 time.
Let's get into it because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians bottom four right now, tied 1-1 against the Milwaukee Brewers. So we'll keep you up to date on all of that. If you're a new customer, listen closely. They got a really cool deal for you over at Bet365. All you got to do is throw down a 5-piece. You bet $5. You get $150 in bonus bets whether your bet wins or loses. So get on over to their website or download the Bet365 app today. I'm looking at baseball tonight, and I'm looking at an anytime dinger, and I just had it and closed out. So, AR, you go ahead and go first while I find this again.
I made my bet before the show.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, TLC.
I bet the Nerfy in the Brewers-Guardians game.
Did we cash?
There's no runs first inning. We did because it was both those runs came in the second.
There we go.
But I'm a little bit in trouble now. I had the over 4.5 Ks from Logan Henderson, who the Brewers brought up today for a spot start against the Guards. I'd like to get him. So the Nerfy plus the over is already cashed. That was plus 180. And then I did a separate one where I had him going 5 innings. 14 and a half outs. I'm not sure he's going to get there. Guards are threatening right now. But that was kind of my bet today. I don't really know if I'm going to go into we do have a 2-2 game with the Maple Leafs and Panthers. We have a closeout game for Edmonton and Vegas tonight. I could see maybe parlaying both the Leafs and the Knights, take the home teams, but right now I'm staying away from it.
Okay.
I like the baseball one I have going.
So now that I've figured out what I was trying to do, I'm going with a guy that's smoking hot right now in Major League Baseball. This dude's tied for first in home runs with Kyle Schwarber and Aaron Judge, and his name is Corbin Carroll. Corbin Carroll had a shoulder injury, then had a down year about a year or two ago. Now he's back to looking like a dude. And I know AR had him on his fantasy team a few years ago, and now he is back, and he's an absolute monster. He has hit 3 home runs over his last 2 games, and so the bat is filled with lava right now. Give me Corbin Carroll to touch all the pillows tonight, plus 575 for the Arizona D-backs. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
This is the guy that you want to talk about because I really don't know how he's been this great for this long. From a physicality standpoint, he's incredible. When Derrick Henry came out of Alabama, 6'3", 250, everybody knew he was going to be a beast. Bell cow dude, just feed it to him for 4 quarters and let him go. And he just ran so interesting to me because he has very long legs for a big dude. He just got a very angular running style, and but man, he's one of the biggest dudes you'll ever see, and he can be violent without even really trying. That's, I think, maybe the best thing I can say about him. He got paid again, Matty.
Yeah, he did.
At what age here are we now? It's a 30-year-old running back? Where are we?
We got to be around 30 at this point. You get the age. I'll hit
31.
the folks with the money. Derrick Henry today reached an agreement with the flock, and it's a 2-year, $30 million extension that includes $25 million fully guaranteed over the next 2 seasons. Shefty saying it is the largest deal in NFL history for a running back over 30 years old. He was available. He was awesome for Baltimore last year, played in every single game, and it was just a perfect marriage. I said at the time, like, he just felt like a Raven. Like, there's certain guys that we see that just feel like Steelers to me, and TLC's team brings them in. I'm just like, yeah, those guys just feel like Pittsburgh Steelers. To me, Derrick Henry was born to be a Baltimore Raven, and he and Lamar in the backfield were just absolutely dynamic. But I think that's what they're banking on, AR, is if, you know, you watch Derrick Henry put in his work in the offseason, this guy takes care of his body. So fingers crossed on this for their sake, my sake as a fan, that this dude can stay healthy, because if he does stay healthy, he and Lamar should be wearing teams out with that RPO the way that they did last year.
All right, so let's check him out here on the all-time rushing list. Is he at 11 grand?
We getting Hall of Fame highway? He's on that, right?
100%.
Yeah.
But where are we on the total? We're over 11 grand now?
That feels appropriate.
So you're saying we got 2 more years?
That's what the deal is for.
You think he'll hang it up after 2? I would think.
Yeah, he's top 20 all time right now. He could probably finish in that top 15 fairly easily.
What would you say? Should we put him at another 3,000 yards?
In his
More
career?
than that? More than 3?
No, that feels appropriate.
1,500 a pop?
That's strong.
Well, pull up his stats in the last couple of years.
That's strong.
How close did he get
let me get that
to
for you
2?
real quick.
How close did he get to 2,000? Because I'm thinking if we can get him...
See what I got for... He was 1,921 yards this
year.
year.
He was very close.
So
I'm even going to lowball us and say, let's get him another $3,000.
Last 3 years for him, 1,500, 1,100, and 1,900.
All right, so perfect. I think 3,000 is more than appropriate.
Yeah,
so let's get him to 14. Let's get him at least to 14.
Yeah, he's stamped as a Hall of Famer. He stays
14
healthy.
would get him top 6.
He stays healthy the next 2 years. It's done, because then you're getting in the club of, you know, Franco Harris and Marshall Faulk, and I don't know if he reaches Jim Brown and all those guys, but he'll be top 15 all time. And
oh no, he'll pass Jim Brown.
He'll be in Canton. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he'll get into that club with those names, and yeah, he'll be up there in Canton for sure. It'd be interesting to see whether he goes in at that point as a Titan or a Raven. I always find those conversations fairly interesting. Probably be a Titan.
If he plays more than the 2 years, he'll get Adrian Peterson. He'll be a top 5 running back all time in yards gained.
Yeah.
Yards rushed for. So now maybe he is eyeballing 15K. I wonder if you'd asked him right now. Get him on the horn, Maddie.
Yeah, I'll hit him up.
What's your goal? It's 15K. Is that the number that you're going to play? Because 14,102 gets him number 6, but he needs to get to 14,919 to pass Adrian Peterson.
Curtis Martin holding down that 14,101 slot, as you mentioned, at number 6. He's in a spot to where the quarterback that he plays with may be able to allow him on the back nine of his career to extend out that career more because of the rushing ability of Lamar Jackson. So, yeah, man, he's just one of those running backs that looks like he's built in a lab, right? Looks like he's absolutely built in the lab. You create this guy on Madden with the height and the weight and the long speed, because that's really impressive too. Is like you mentioned his frame and his running style. There's been so many highlights through the years of him in Tennessee and him in Baltimore to where he's running away from defensive backs, and you're 240 getting close to 250 pounds and you got that type of speed. You're just built different, but he earns every bit of it. You can follow, if you follow him on social media, you see it, that this guy don't mess around when it comes to keeping his body in check.
I was trying to do a little conversion table here in like yards to miles. And I would love to get, I just wanted to see how many, if Derrick Henry is going to run for more miles than the Bengals are going to travel in his like career. I'll have to break that down next. All right. That's pre-snap reads for today. We come back in 2 minutes, and clickbait or reality, one host says either one works. You'll find out next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Dealin' Days are back at Lindsay Honda. Lock in your deal in May. Save thousands on hundreds of new Hondas. Simply pick your new 2025 Honda and enjoy 0% for up to 60 months. Yes, 0% for up to 60 months on all new 2025 Hondas, including HR-V, Pilot, and Ridgeline.
Cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. Lindsay's got it, and you're gonna save.
See you, Lindsay Honda, during Dealin' Days. See lindsayhonda.com for details.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony sometimes likes to sit and stare at his bundle of Emmy Awards. Unfortunately, it's through the glass of the pawn shop. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, so we're all anxiously anticipating like how the college football world will look at Ohio State this year as repeat contenders. We know from a betting standpoint that Bet365, our betting partner, thinks that they are the betting favorite to repeat. With this expanded playoff now, when you have talent and you get in, you get the get-out-of-jail-free card, you can lose 2 games and get in, and there's no, I mean, it's a harder road, that's for sure, but...
And it depends on which 2 games you lose, right? And whether they're viewed as those, quote, good losses they are.
Yeah. Right, that's true. I remember having this conversation with Bo years ago when they were thinking about expanding. And we were having the conversation: would it be harder to win more games, or would you rather be in the BCS era where all you have to do is beat one team to win the title and you just advance to a championship game? And I always felt it would be easier in the expanded playoff. And I think he thought the opposite at the time. And I think on paper it does make sense that only winning one game is a lot easier than winning 2 or 3 or 4. But I always looked at it this way. I did not want to have to go undefeated to get my shot. And you had to be like I didn't want that. Because if you're talented, all you want is the at-bat. And if you can basically guarantee every year, almost guarantee, that Ohio State will get an at-bat, you already know they have the talent. They may have some down years, or maybe it's not all in the right places.
Yeah.
But
because to your point, AR, like no matter how good you are, you're always going to have that one sleepy game. No, like you can have the best roster.
Take somebody
in the
for
sport,
granted.
no doubt.
Or somebody plays an all-world game.
Look at what happened last year to
Fumbles.
Georgia when they went into Lexington against Kentucky, and Kentucky took them out, right? And so those games happen. Ohio State's had those games to where maybe they don't lose the game, but the game is way closer than what it should have been. And that's just what happens when you're dealing with college sports, is that you're going to get got every once in a while. You just hope that those games where your team is sleepy and they're all out of whack and there's stupid penalties and all that they can still find a way, because more times than not, they do have more talent than that other team.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you're a lesser team or you catch lightning in a bottle one year, then you want no expansion. You want it to be that year, in a vacuum, one game. If we play our best, we could win a title. That's why I said before last season, this was the last team you wanted to see circling back. Like it just was. If you were on the opponent of one of Ohio State, like the last thing you want to do is see a really, really talented team that's already had some losses, they're not protecting anything. In fact, you could make the weird case, and I have, that this was such the rarity of all rarities where you could be so highly motivated as Ohio State and also so talented. Like my point is that you were so doubted and yet you're so talented. That is so rare. Who's doubting elite of elite? And they had it.
Yeah, because sometimes what we see, and this isn't a direct comparison, but sometimes you get a really good player that's just been kind of okay and maybe not living up to their expectation, but then they get into that contract year and then they lock in because there's money on the other side. You get their best. And Ohio State put their best foot forward because at that point it was like, this sucks. We lost to Michigan. It feels like the world's crumbling around us. But at the end of the day, what we have is the best dudes. And we can go out there and accomplish the ultimate mission. And they did that. And it locked them back in. And I don't know if every team could do that, talent or not, because that's from the shoulders up type of stuff right there that you're talking about is what they had to endure was figuring out what the heck is wrong with this equation, cleaning it up, fine-tuning it along the way, getting ready for Tennessee, and the rest was history all the way on to Notre Dame.
All right, so you and I anticipate that Ohio State would be no lower than 5? Like it would be a top 5 lock?
When we get the first AP poll, I will be very surprised if they're not in the top 5. Yes.
Okay. I think most people would, even though we understand that there's a possibility that somebody might put, I don't know, Notre Dame or LSU or somebody in there. But they are the defending champs, and I know they're not the same team, certainly, but I think that's also going to carry a little bit. You probably wouldn't put them lower than 5. This is the lowest I've ever heard them, anybody talking about them. I don't think I've seen them lower than 5 really anywhere. And so set this up for us, TLC. This is Josh Pate. Is that correct?
He's waking up. He's alive.
Sorry, wait a minute. Roll out. Take alive. The covers off and just roll out.
What?
Yes, Josh Pate.
Yeah, what about him?
Yeah. We'd like to hear from him if you have it.
We don't have the audio for him.
Oh, I thought we did have audio for him.
We just said his top 20. I think he just did a top 20.
These are post-spring.
Right. My bad. I thought we had audio.
No, you're good.
It's post-spring top 20 rankings for Josh Pate. Dude's awesome covering the sport. He was just here with Coach Day, talking to him. He's a big-time guy right now in the sport for CBS. He put out his, like I said, top 20 coming out of Spring Bowl. And his top 10 AR is Clemson at 1. Texas at 2, Penn State 3, Alabama 4, LSU 5, Notre Dame 6, Oregon 7, Ohio State 8, Florida 9, and Oklahoma at 10.
He has Alabama at 4?
Yes.
Why is everybody all of a sudden obsessed with Cade Klubnik?
From a talent standpoint, I think he was pretty good.
It's what they're returning as well around him. A lot of people are gassing up their wide receiver room. A lot of experience coming back on that O-line. They did lose Phil Maffa to the league, so we'll see how they replace him at running back. But he's a senior now who was a big-time recruit, and people believe that it started to click for him last year.
The other kid tore his ACL, right? In the ACC title game. The running back. The kid that backed up Maffa. I can't remember his name. Anyway.
Their D-line's good. I know they got a couple D-line prospects.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting is you said he just came in and interviewed Ryan Day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm wondering, like, it would have been great if part of that interview was, what does he have Ohio State ranked?
He's got him at 8.
Yeah. Would have been interesting to get Ryan Day's take on that. Hey, I've gone through this stuff. I always do my annual rankings, and I have you at 8. How does that sound to you? No, and I just would have. I loved it.
Of course, but you know these guys aren't doing that
Play
stuff.
some hardball.
These guys are going to throw that in the coach's face. They're
not throw it in his face. Just say that. You know, does that motivate you? Is it?
I don't think. I don't.
The other one that I like that I would have done is when Urban Meyer went through Ohio State's schedule and he was complimenting, hey, that's a 10-win team right there. This is a 10-win team right here. Even with a new quarterback, that's a 10-win team. The follow-up is
where the losses at.
Which two losses are they? Which games do you have them losing?
Which were kind of aligned
You have them losing
with
Michigan. You have them losing Penn State. You have them losing Texas. Which two?
Telling you, watch out for the Illinois game. Telling you.
But I'm
talking about it all.
But I'm wondering if Urban would have thought the same as you are, or if it's more obvious, which is they'll lose Texas and. But what's the other?
Or I think to your point, Urban and Josh Pate may see and feel a similar thing.
They do.
Like Josh Pate's not saying they're going to be bad, but you lose a couple games, you could be right there in that 8 hole. And I think when you have these post-spring rankings for a guy like Pate who does do the circuit and goes around to all these big programs, he maybe walked out of the Woody that day and said, okay, like there's some dudes in here. There's some good players, but there's a lot of inexperience as well. And so when you go from Columbus maybe to South Bend or Tuscaloosa or Baton Rouge, he's probably just going by his eye test right now and also what these teams have acquired through the portal and all that, and may feel like, obviously, the teams 1 through 7 may have more right now talent than Ohio State does. And to me, that's not going to be surprising if we see that from the Scarlet and Gray this year, is a little bit of those speed bumps and some of those stop signs along the way, especially when you talk about resetting at the quarterback position. We know the talent is over there, but there's one thing to have the talent, and there's also one thing to put it together and win big-time games, and especially big-time games out of the gate like they have to do against the Horns.
That's why I said in the beginning, is it clickbait or reality? And that's why for Josh Pate, it doesn't matter. It can be both. Yeah. Like the fact that he ranked Ohio State 8 is certainly going to get people like, wow, that's interesting, defending champs. The other part about it is that he may be right. He may be.
They lost so much.
They did. And then not only losing so much, this team can't live off of last year. And Day and the coaching staff know it. Like this is like there could be, is there a championship hangover? And to them, the hangover may be 10 wins. It may be, and get in the playoff but not win at all. Like that may be the hangover for Ohio State. But that's what they're fighting against too, is that team was so special last year that they could lose the ultimate game and go on to win the title because of the way the roster was put together, and also their attitude, their determination, all of that. That's what made it a great story. But coming into this year, this is a brand new, fresh deal, new quarterback. Brian Hartline's the OC. Like, there's a whole new DC.
No doubt.
There's a
lot of change.
Now, do they have talent? Of course they do. They may have two of the best players in the country on both sides of the ball. But, and no one's going to deny them talent. It's interesting to me that, because I think if you asked Urban, if you got him to answer his own question or his own answer, Ohio State's going 10-2. If I said to him, okay, which two? I guarantee he'd say,
I think it's Texas and Penn State.
Texas and Penn State. 100%. And then you'd follow up with that and say, wow, 2 home games. 2 home games. Like, you're going to lose the 2 biggest games at home of the year? Now, I would think maybe they'd have a better chance in splitting them, and I think you'd have a lot more faith. If you asked Buckeye fans right now, you're going to lose one game, Texas or Penn State. Which is it? It's Texas.
Because of the right out of the gate stuff.
And it's also the history against Penn State and the fact the game is here.
Yeah, James Franklin's going to go on the road and win a gigantic game.
That's right. It's that.
People don't believe
part
that.
Of it. That's right. All right, plenty of time to talk about that. We come back with Tell the Truth. Next, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring into savings at Ohio Mulch. Get your mulch as easy as ever. Save $50 on home delivery now through Sunday. All you got to do is visit ohiomulch.com today.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
It's child's play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
Hi there, I'm Ryan Reynolds, and like most actors, I have a list of things that I like to have on set. It's called a rider. It's just little things like wind chimes being blown by a easterly breeze, a 7-year-old calico cat to purr on my lap, and, of course, 2 freshly cracked eggs scrambled with crispy hash brown sausage crumble and creamy chipotle sauce from Tim Hortons. It smells amazing. Now, where did I put that hand-carved wooden spoon? From my rider to Tim's menu, try my new scrambled eggs loaded breakfast box.
Limited time at participating U.S. restaurants.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Kroger, we've lowered prices on over 1,000 items across our stores so you can save even more. Whether you're shopping in-store or online at Kroger, we've lowered prices on thousands of the items your family wants and needs. And with lower prices, your dollar goes further every time you shop with us. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Right now, Private Selection Angus 90% lean ground sirloin is on sale. 1-pound packages are only $5.77 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Reds fans, we're off to the races. Assemble your pit crew and cheer on your Reds at the 2025 MLB Speedway Classic at Bristol Motor Speedway on Saturday, August 2nd. Tickets are on sale now to watch your Reds shift into high gear when they face off against the Atlanta Braves during this special showcase at one of racing's most iconic tracks. For tickets and more information, visit reds.com/Bristol.
Get Mega May discounts at Coghlan Kia. Lease a new Kia K4, only $89 a month for 24 months. Or get 1.9% financing for 48 months. Or $2,000 bonus cash on a new 25 Kia Sportage or Sorrento. Visit CoglanKia.com.
$49.99 due at signing. 10,000 miles per year. 20 cents per mile over. Tax, title, and license fees excluded. No security deposit. $400 disposition fee as said. 1.9 for 48 equals $21.65 per 1,000 funding. With approved credit for KMF. Residency restrictions may apply. Offers cannot be combined. See dealer for details. N6225.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. Now get 60% off and a free entry door with a house of windows. Visit windownation.com.
All right, TLC, take us home.
I sure will. So help me out here. I need your guys' counsel because you guys have been full-time employees at this location longer than I have. So, what is your strategy at the beginning of the year for mapping out your PTO?
I don't map out anything.
You don't map it out? You don't?
No, I'm horrible at it. I'm the last guy to ask.
Okay, Ice, over to you.
If there's a couple things that I know that are big-time events, I'll try to get to it early. But, yeah, I'm kind of like AR. Like, you just kind of roll with it as we go. So yeah, I'm not one of those big guys that like kind of does every single one of my
trips
PTO.
or
That's
anything?
what I'm saying. That's what I said. Like a couple of those. If I have those early on, then I'll lock in on that early. But yeah, no, I really don't have too many things planned this year. Just a couple. So yeah, I know there's some guys that
I think you were the first guy in 2025 to take PTO.
No, there's well, here's the other thing too.
You know what's kind of interesting, Ice?
Yeah.
Is that our brand new producer, has been with us for, less than a month. And he's bringing to the table, I really want to figure out how I can take as much time off. Like, it's
show me the way so I can get out of here.
It's kind of like the last thing you want to talk about when you get that. Like, when you're in that interview, I'll give you the best. When you're taking that interview, I'd leave out how does the PTO work here? I don't know. That's probably not. Now, he's got the job. So I guess he's allowed to ask, but I thought that was interesting. We're kind of a month in. We've gained some momentum, and then he brings right to the table. Hey, what's the strategy on how I can really zero in on these days off?
I need you to show me the ropes. So that way, because, everybody has PTO available, and so we can't be having the entire station off at the same time. So I'm trying to get ahead of it. Not for right now. I'll be here all summer.
Oh,
but,
okay.
If
will you be here in the fall?
Yeah, I mean, hey.
So when are you using your PTO then?
Exactly. I need to plan out those days because I'm not they don't roll over.
That's true. Those were
They're not
good
cell
old
phone
days.
minutes, Mike Valeni.
Right here, right now, there is no other place he'd rather be.
Marv Levy.
Bam. We used to have rollover days.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Five
the
of
king of the rollover.
That'd be easy because I would never leave. I would never use
Well,
them.
let's think about this. Where it used to be here that you would never want to take off during football. It just was kind of sacrilege. You wouldn't do it. It's the best time of year. You want to be here to talk about the stuff. The time to take off is when there's a lot of nothing going on.
Yeah.
And so when you think about it, September, October, November, now December, and January. So there's really 5 months. And then let's carry it into the Super Bowl even, because I don't want to be off during the NFL playoffs. I want to carry that into the Super Bowl. It's about 5.5 months of the 12 that I think are pretty much on the red X. Nobody's taken off, nor should they. Bye week, little different.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly.
Everybody's taking
a
off
couple
the
bye
bye
weeks. And then I usually am a guy that doesn't take vacation all the way through the Super Bowl, and then here comes March Madness, and then you're kind of caught up in that, and then April gets here, and it's the Masters, and now it's like, all right, now we're already in May. So he is right to, now that we're in May, to kind of bring it to the table, because we do run out of days.
I have nowhere to go, Castellini, but I just want to get ahead of it and get a plan going, so I thought I'd talk to some vets who offered very little help, but busted my balls. Thank you very much. Boing. All right.
Maddie, do we have any advice for him at all?
No, I really don't.
I heard that if, new employees don't get any paid time off in the first year.
Yeah, you got to do a whole lap around the track.
So I'm not
for
really
the
sure that
PTO.
this even exists.
Okta says otherwise. Thank you very much. All right.
HR's on the phone.
Uh-huh. So, Dave Sims was the television play-by-play voice of the Seattle Mariners. This past offseason, he went to become the radio voice of the Yankees on WFAN. And so, the baseball season just started at the late March, beginning of April. It's early to mid-May, and he already got a series off, and Boomer Esiason on WFAN was wondering, what the heck is he doing his first month on the job, already taking work off?
To Seattle tonight, take on the Mariners. I imagine Dave Sims will be back. He used to work in Seattle. He didn't do these games this weekend, but I would think he'll be back with Susan. Why
I think he was visiting with family in Seattle. That's what somebody told me on X, so they must have talked about it on a broadcast. So get out there a couple days early.
Maybe
really?
Yeah, Mother's Day weekend. Maybe he wanted to see family.
He's from New York.
Oh.
He's got some family out there.
But he was in Seattle for, what, 15 years?
Yeah, all right, so?
So maybe their kids live out there and they
Did
wanted
you
to
sign
see.
a deal to do the Yankees?
I don't know.
I mean, John Sterling didn't miss any games, did he? He did not miss many games.
At
no.
the end, he missed a couple.
Well, if he did, because he was sick or something.
Right.
Or because, he was in his 80s and he didn't want to travel to certain games because of COVID.
But he
I
did
understand
do,
that.
2,000 straight games, something like that?
But what I'm saying, you just take a week off? No, it wasn't a week. It was a weekend. I'm sorry. I love Dave Sims, but unless there's something major going on that I don't know about, then I'll gladly retract the criticism.
Otherwise, get your ass in the booth.
Yeah, what are you doing? You just took the Yankee job. It's supposed to be the job of your life.
That's Boomer Esiason.
Tell the truth. Was that real or was that for show or a little bit of both?
No, that was real. Maybe it's animated a little bit, but I think the heart of the matter is that he was...
Dave Sims, not a gamer for using the PTO he's offered?
I got no issue with what Sims did whatsoever. It's a long season in baseball. If he wanted to take a couple games off.
Timing of it's a little odd.
Whatever. Timing.
40 games into his Yankee career.
Yeah, like I said, they don't know what he has going on. I'm sure there's a reason.
That's what he said, that he would retract it. Yeah.
There's a reason why.
I always make those interesting comments during the game.
Maybe I could be like an announcer, like a color man.
Oh, man.
That is your tell the truth for the day.
Before we go, if you ever missed anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up wherever you get your podcast. Type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the podcast as well. Our podcast is sponsored exclusively by the sports betting sportsbook. That is Bet365. Rothman and Ice podcast will be available for you every day. Don't move. Common Man and Timmy coming up next from 3 to 6.
All right, we will talk to you tomorrow on a Gold Jacket Thursday. I failed today because usually I quiz the big guy in there. Didn't quiz him this week.
I would have gotten it.
But I believe we'll connect with an old friend, Randy Gratishar, the Buckeye legend. But I will double-check that and confirm that with him. All right, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great afternoon. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvis weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, the Fan.
Common Man here for Universal Windows Direct. It is a big sale at Universal Windows Direct. You're getting an incredible 50% off your windows. That's half off, and it gets even better. For a limited time, you get no interest and no payments for 12 months. That's a whole year. I got to tell you, when something's half and when something's a year. You also get a free entry door with your window purchase. Schedule your free in-home estimate today. Give them a call, 614-502-5220, or visit universalwindowsdirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Need flexible funds fast? With HELOC from CME Federal Credit Union, you can get a low intro rate of just 3.95% for the first 6 months, helping you save while you borrow. Visit CMEFCU.org to learn more. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing lender.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
On this May 14, 2008, Adam Dunn started a remarkable home run streak when he homered against the Florida Marlins at Great American Ballpark. After a day off, the Reds hosted Cleveland and Dunn homered again. The next day, Dunn came to the plate with 2 on in the bottom of the ninth with the Reds trailing 2-1 and hit a walk-off home run. And Dunn homered again the next day as the Reds swept the Indians. 4 home runs in 4 consecutive games, and he got number 5 the next night in L.A. against the Dodgers. 5 home runs, 5 straight games. That tied a club record, held by some pretty good company. Ted Kluszewski, Johnny Bench, and Ken Griffey Jr. Adam Dunn's home run streak began this May 14, 2008. This date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week's honoree is Stuart McGinn, a 12-year patrol veteran of the Columbus Police Department who's seen the toll that high-stress work takes on first responders. Inspired by CPD's Therapy Dog Unit, Stu found a way to give back by training his rescue dog, Albie, to become a certified therapy dog. Together, they volunteer at Ohio Health, offering comfort to frontline healthcare workers, one tail wag and smile at a time.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
For a lot of us, saving up a down payment can be the biggest barrier to buying a home. So Rocket Mortgage is lowering down payments to 1% for eligible home buyers with One Plus. Because everyone deserves their shot at the American dream. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to get a head start on your starter home.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Nia.
Hi, Nia. It's Jennifer. Did you know that Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Yeah, I work here.
Okay. I was just double checking. Get it?
Because Discover automatically doubles all the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year?
Oh, you get me, Nia.
You could say that I double get you.
I guess we've taken it too far.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms.